Stay with me. Brothers, what we do in life.
Listen, having been an agent for over 12 years in the Secret Service, 12 years, and having spent a good amount of time in a protective intelligence squad where you actually go out and interview these people who threaten the president and our protectees, I think there's an assumption on the left where there's no shame in threatening the president's life on the left. So this isn't a both sides thing. So we can just cut that garbage out right now and just stop the nonsense. On the right, okay, on any respected kind of mainstream figure on the right, if you were to go out and even imply someone should be physically hurt on the left for their ideas, you're almost instantly shamed out of the movement. There is no such corresponding effect on the left. You just mentioned the name. I don't even want to mention this guy's name because he's such a zero. But he's out there implying that, you know, physical violence is okay and is a means of fighting back against a man or systemic discrimination, whatever crap they throw out there. And not only, Rachel, is there no shame, you're welcomed in open arms on mainstream left-wing podcasts where they're like, hey, come on in and spew this bile out there. There is no such corresponding movement on the right. There is no both sides, folks. Stop telling yourself that. It's not true. You would never be allowed on this network. You work here. I've worked here a long time. You would never be allowed in this network even joking around about that stuff. You'd be gone. They'd pull you off mid-segment. They don't allow that stuff. It's not a both sides thing. It is garbage. And let me tell you.
Alrighty then, how is it going out there, my fellow world patriots? Thank you guys for hanging out a couple minutes late due to a little bit of technical glitches there, but I think we got it going. And welcome on in, guys, to the Hold the Line, Not the Table of Titans, episode 206. That's just a backup video there that may have been playing in the background there, but it is Fun Day Monday, and we do have episode 206 of Hold the Line out here, and we have Miss Lisa and Mr. Mac, and a very wild scenario that, as you guys saw, broke out the other day, and I'm gonna be loving to hear Mac and Lisa's thoughts on this one. But before we get too much more into that, let's bring in Miss Lisa and then Mr. Mac. How is it going this week, Miss Lisa?
Hey, things are good. Things are good. Looking forward to the show. Glad to be here as well. But we shall see. Looking forward to talking about the recent events. And yeah.
Alrighty, Mr. Mac, sir, how's it going with you, my man?
It's going well. Looking forward to the show as well. You know, thank you for having us. Thank you to the mods, and thanks to everybody that tunes in. I just find Bongino, what he's saying, spot on. And there's going to be, this is, I think, the tipping point where we have to cut the rhetoric. And the rhetoric, I think there needs to be some examples made out of some people. Put a video at the bottom of all, you know, what they're promoting is then spreading onto the streets. People catch it as slogans. And it's also seeming to brainwash our youth as well, that violence is something that is acceptable to solve problems. And I find that highly toxic on the left. And it's being highlighted right now. Go ahead.
Sorry, but just really quick, is that the whistle video? The guy that's whistling in it? Well, let's just see. Is it this one right here?
No.
Let me make sure you get it up there. Not this guy?
No, but you can play it if you want.
Oh, I thought you.
I was just giving an example of like the media and then protesters who are basically being paid to protest, talking and promoting violence against President Trump and probably MAGA.
Yeah, majorly. All right, let's pop that one up quick, and then we'll see what we got here. But let me just make sure, very bottom here. Yeah, and you know the interesting part is too. I said to one of my ex coworkers there. I've talked about him many times. How I've been trying to work on him, and let me get this thing loaded up here. I actually sent him this video earlier, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you guys are all about violence. That's your side." And I'm like, "Well, show me anything." And you know what he sends me? A post where Trump's talking about treasonous people and how they should be put to death. And I'm like, "Yeah, well, when you're treasonous against the country, what's the death penalty? It's a death penalty comes in for that one, right? So it's a little bit different out there than just saying, I want to kill this person and kill that person." So as the video here has from Mac, let's take a little listen here and a little example of what we've seen over the last many years.
Hey! Trevor!
What the hell?
These ICE agents gonna get shot and wiped out!
Wishing that President Trump is dead?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
$647, explain it to me. I like the colors.
Kill the son of a bitch.
Kill who?
This 47th president.
Well, that's a nice little example of some patriotic folks out there. But yeah, openly calling
Was
for it.
the SPCLC sponsoring them, paying them?
SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC.
LC.
You done with
And does
SPLC?
anybody?
Lisa? Sorry.
I was just thinking, does anybody not think that there was some strange things around the so-called assassination attempt?
Oh, majorly.
Are we just going with, like a Hollywood movie that we were presented with?
Oh, big time.
I listened to a Fox News. They were interviewing a lady live, and just as she was about to say that it was like somebody knew it was happening, they literally cut her off live. I'm trying to find it. They cut her off live, and it's really. I think okay, and
but this too, what you're looking at on the screen, Lisa, the Carolyn Levitt, how she said shots fired tonight.
Yeah, and then the husband as well. Her husband, he said some things,
And that's when the lady got cut off of that interview. Yeah, the phone call dropped, apparently.
Yeah, and just a myriad of other things, about this guy, and it's like, so he had guns and knives, and he kind of walked past the security into the reception of the building.
He had to know where he was going. How do you know where he was going? It's crazy. He knew exactly where. It's a big hotel. It's not small. Go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, look, if I go to the Hilton Hotel centre of London, I am not going to be able to walk in there with a gun, with a couple of guns and some knives and just get in. Just no way. The doorman's going to stop me, the reception's going to stop me. I don't know. It just feels like mighty strange. And coincidental as well.
Right. Well,
nice distraction.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's definitely I think it was set. Aforetold. Maybe they knew about it ahead of time, right? Like the shots fired, and so the really weird thing I have about this too is. I'll play this again without sound. And again, why is all the video that we get of all this stuff filmed out of like a potato? I could have got a better picture by, having a kindergartner draw me, each image and then flipping them together. So the guy comes running out of the left side here. And so everybody that's sitting here, this guy, okay, maybe he looked away, but this person's facing that direction. And everybody is seemingly taken by surprise. Oh, God, look at this. And nobody just seen him running all the way up the thing here. Watch. She's sitting there, standing there, and she's looking, maybe talking to this guy. Oh, here he comes around the corner. Wait. What are you doing? Pop, pop, pop. And then they said he shot him, but then maybe not. And then he got shot, but then not maybe. And then, lots of really weirdness around it.
And the fact that they all kind of just stood still. Like, the president's in the room, in the building, and you've just let somebody run past you, and you're bothering to kind of kneel down and try and get a good shot whilst the guy's running closer to the president. Okay. Yeah. I don't think that that's in your training. Like, you know, nobody tackle him? No? They just let him run in. Just sit him. It just doesn't make, none of it makes sense to me. And then there's all kinds of other anomalies as well. You know, I don't know if I'm buying it, to be honest.
No.
I don't know if I'm buying it. Yeah, and and the guy's background as well. You know,
Supposed to be a
all
smart
seems
guy.
a bit.
He's a video game developer, and he got an internship at NASA, which is I think it was for a video game too. I have the information.
Oh, I got
It was
stuff on him for sure.
It was let's see, First Law, like a physics-based game called First Law during his NASA internship in 2014.
Interesting.
He was a very smart dude. Apparently, I don't know. It just sounds to me. It sounds like brainwashing, MK Ultra, all these techniques they talk about, you know, and influencing people to do radical things. I don't know what it takes, but he obviously, I think his brother said that he was mentally ill, and the UK
But he was smart.
didn't pass on the information in time. They got like a
Connecticut, yeah.
something like that.
Well, there's you know, the fact that his name's spiked in Israel. You know, when you can check statistics on the web, his name's spiked just before this event happened. A couple of years ago, there was a Twitter account, you know, with a certain name, with the shooter, a post with the shooter's name, and it was almost like 2.5 years ago in 2023. And the header of the account has an image from a website called Time Machine, you know? And then on top of that, you know, Trump's like butler photograph, you know, the one where the press were moved in position to get the perfect photograph, President Trump with his fist in the air, you know, that picture can be superimposed over the image, and it's almost a perfect outline on that account. There's a lot of fishy things, Mike. I'm sorry, I'm having
didn't disagree
trouble
with that.
swallowing all of this, because you know, you said that he had mental health problems, and it's like the guy was really smart.
Yeah, Trump gave an interview and said he was very smart and very crazy. So I don't know. Mental illness. All these people seem to have similar characteristics to doing very extreme things, obviously. But I feel like there's more to this behind the scenes that seems to be missed by the fake news media and not looked into. Are they seeing psychiatrists, psychologists? Are they taking medication? Are these mental health issues that have been ignored by the family and others? It just I'm curious.
Was he
and we
drugged?
don't. I have no idea. Yeah.
Or is it part? I have to say it. Or is it part of the theater? You know, we know what that. You know, the guy worked for NASA. You know, he was somehow connected to the Ukraine, and he wore a sweatshirt with the IDF. You know, Israel Defense Forces. You know, there's a picture of him with the sweatshirt on, with the IDF badge and all of that, and it's like, look, these things are kind
Was
of
that
easy
one
to
real
set
quick
up.
on that photograph? Was that found out fake or true? That's the one I heard was fake, but again,
No,
I didn't keep up with it.
no. There's two things that he's connected with: Israel and the Ukraine, and then his writings as well. I mean, I don't know whether you read the supposed letter that he wrote to his family just before he did it. I've got a copy of that. But it just feels like, they have these people that come from certain programs that they have that they don't really talk about, where they have, like um, some kind of candidate, maybe MK Ultra, say a word, bring out the alternative character in them, and then they do something. There's a guy that I think back in, I don't know, 70s or 80s, but anyway, he took them to court because he said he was groomed from being a very small child to be like an assassin, and they MK ultra'd him. They created the different alters, like the different
Personality.
the personalities within him, and he was sent off to do jobs. And he was groomed to be some kind of ambassador or whatever. I think he might have been in the military just for about 4 or 6 years, and then they bring them out. And he went to court and he won. And they paid him. They had to pay him over $1 million in compensation. And he said they do it a lot, and they do it a lot to children. And he's not exactly stupid either, But it's like they're set up throughout their lives to do this, and those alternative kind of characters can be switched on and off. And there's loads of documentation from the CIA and everything that, they can just make a phone call to somebody. They say the secret word, they're not aware of it. Yeah. And they just switch. And I wonder, when they get people to commit, they can easily get people to commit suicide as well, because they do the characters don't always know that they have been programmed. I don't know. And this one for me, it's like there's way too many weird things about it. It's like, why was JD Vance rushed out before the president?
Yes, they
See what
yanked
I
him
mean?
right off
Like,
first.
come on, the vice president before the president, and you leave him sat there like a sitting duck. I'm having trouble with it, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, Lisa,
Really having trouble with it.
let me pose you a scenario. Maybe the whole idea of everything we saw the other day is to make us have a little trouble with it, right? Like, because I don't know. And so did his letter start off with "Hello, everybody"? I don't know if you want to drop it if this is not it, but I'll read a little bit of it, because if this guy's talking about getting groomed from a little kid and doing this, that, and the other, this could be the whole point of all of this, right? Like exposing the fact that there are MK Ultra programs out there, that they do hire people to kill people.
Also, very in that video, did you see the video where he was like made it an invention for wheelchairs?
Yeah.
Apparently, if you keep watching that, is her name Usha Vance? JD Vance's wife is seen in the background.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So there's it's weird.
Well, that's why I say I'm really I don't think my brain works.
We're just compiling the evidence.
I'm not. Yeah. So, but I can't accept. My brain will not accept it as it is being presented to me. Do you see what I mean? Because there's just so many anomalies. So, if it was anything else, I'd be looking into it much further, and I wouldn't be believing what the mainstream media is actually telling me. Do you see what I mean? And I found the one where the Fox News, turned off its correspondence microphone after he was hinting at a stage shooting.
Ooh, I got that. And
he's not the only. It's not the only time.
No, I don't know if that's Usha Vance or not, but
looks like it.
Someone pointed it out, and I'm not sure. No, it's not. Okay, so good there. There's no weirdness there.
But there's no weirdness in those interviews on Fox News, and Fox News more recently, they're very much, I don't know, like somebody's writing the script of what they're saying,
It's
Because
right
what they're
here.
saying is, it's just, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's listen to this one. You guys keep getting ahead of me here, and I'm loading up stuff, but we're not getting to play this stuff. So, all right, there we go.
Press secretary's husband. He was one of our guests. He was seated right next to me, and right as the dinner was starting, the national anthem happened, and then he kind of leaned over and said, I watched you on TV. You do a great job. You need to be very safe. And he was just very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and he said, there are some.
Hello. Hello. Did we miss the call? I guess we.
Sounds like we lost Aisha's phone there.
That was Kevin Cork, by the way.
How timely.
Yeah. How timely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And there's another one where a guy's speaking as well, and he's just going, I don't know about this,
Well, it's a definite good excuse to build the top secret military ballroom that they have been trying to pause. So hopefully that
Yeah, and people were writing letters saying, "Oh, this is the reason why we need the ballroom and stuff like that." I'm going like, I'm having trouble swallowing this. I'm sorry, I really am.
Well, it is. They do need the
really
ballroom. So
yeah.
There we go. Why
Just
people are
calm.
fighting, why are they fighting so bad, to get that thing? And apparently it's some lady, Trump says it's essentially some lady walking her dog that complained and she has no standing, but, they're not using government funds for it. I wonder if they're concerned about something that may be found in there, if there's some equipment or anything underground that they may want to, keep hidden or something like that. Just thought it was just interesting how much pushback it is getting. Just reposting the show out here as we talk. But yeah, I mean, it's very weird, guys. And, and we touched on it, I didn't want to hit on it too much because I kind of covered it the other day as well. But like Lisa mentioned, this picture is like the time machine thing, and it kind of morphs up exactly to the fight image. And then this guy's only.
I also see something else. I see almost like a Jesus arm out. You see the head.
What do you call that stuff? Pareidolia or whatever. But
yeah, I don't know.
Somebody had a video where they actually put it up, and you morph it. You mess with the opacity on one of them, and you make it more 100% fulsome, and then you make it like faded out. And yeah, it did look very similar. Like that's the eyeball, and like that's the nose for sure. So highly weird stuff here, guys. Right? Like this guy's one account. One post he ever made.
Yeah, it was strange.
And again, people can say he called, President Trump getting shot, but I think this stuff was even. I'm pretty sure this whole thing was after this for sure. I don't know.
Yeah, and the spike in looking for his exact name, by people in Israel. You can check these statistics and things like that, and it's like, not long before it happened. I just can't swallow it. I don't
think you're supposed to though. Like, I mean, I don't know why you're not looking at that.
Did you guys also hear? Was it Italy also spiked, and that's where they said Candace went? So I've heard. I don't know. I'm hearing all this stuff about the name spiking prior. So, but that is a strange anomaly. That and what I remember about the Q post of this Cole Allen being a developer for video games. Remember the video game chats they would use to communicate during the during the false flag?
Palpatine's Revenge. Yep.
And there's another one. Which one was it? Q post. I can't find it right now, but had a graphic on it that kind of put it together. It was 4004. It's an interesting one.
I'm not. I'm not. Like I said to you, I can't. It's not that don't take me literally when I say I can't digest it. It's like it's not sitting well with me at all.
There's same thing with like Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. And then even seeing people, Cash is on his knee, during it all going on, just on his knee, head of the FBI. But the Secret Service has stood up. So okay, so making really great targets. Erica Kirk coming out, being let out as well.
I just want to go
and
home.
the tears, yeah, and I just can't swallow it. I can't.
Well, the question I got
I'm
for
done
you,
with it.
the question I got for you, Lisa, is how are you not looking at the two very pieces of information that you gave to me in the last 5 minutes as not a good thing? The fact that if we look up the information, it's spiking this guy's name before it happened in where? Israel, right? And what was the other piece
Yeah.
that you just gave that you didn't sit right? Like these things, like to me, they need to be exposed for sure, right? And whether
Absolutely.
the White Hats fake this stuff or not, like, either way, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I personally believe, I'm right there with you. Like, it doesn't sit right, but I think there's the purpose for it. I really do. And, do they need to expose the MK Ultra doctors and this, that, and the other at the end of the day because it's so friggin' obvious? And it's like, maybe they've been dropping bigger breadcrumbs that we haven't been seeing. And guys in the chat, guys and gals, please let us know, how are you guys reading just this situation? Because with all this too, Lisa, like, maybe they've been dropping us some breadcrumbs on some other stuff before, but we're not picking it up. And they're like, all right, well, how about we drop this guy's stupid account all right, make only one post and make it look like this. And then we're going to flash Israel and then the MK Ultra stuff. You know what I mean?
There's that, but there's a lot of things like that have been happening just even over the last week. It's uniform and it's consistent. There's a lot of things that I'm seeing where it's like I just know that certain things are not true, and the evidence is there. So it's like there's a narrative that's being spun that doesn't chime with the actual reality. Even like Kushner and Kushner and Witkoff and they're going over and they're going to go and speak to like Iran and the talks are on and all. It's like no, they were never on. Nobody agreed to anything, and like the Iranian like foreign minister, he'd already set up a little tour, so he was already in Islamabad. But I'm watching the fact that he's in Islamabad. And I know that his next stop is Moscow, and he's doing a little tour, and he has not agreed to any talks. He took some information, but that's about it. But what we were being told is that they've agreed to talk, and they're going to get on a plane and go over there and talk to him, and it's like no, they're not, and he's going to leave before they even get there. So, and no, you didn't even. I don't know if you actually got on the plane. But you knew there was no talks, But just in time on a Friday, out comes the information that supposedly makes the market calm down. So anyway, I'm just seeing a lot of that, and I've got to say I'm pretty tired of it now. Pretty tired of it.
So you don't think they've been talking at all? Like no negotiations at all?
No. There's been. It's not that they. You see, it was America that left the talks the first time. Yes, in the middle of the talks, Vance just left after phone calls with certain people. He left, but at the same time, the Iranians had 71 people there. Yeah, 71, ready to, make decisions and stuff. But Pakistan are the mediators at this moment in time. So they will continue to mediate, yes? But there were clear lines drawn, as in, this was our agreement, we want you to stick to it, and we're not going to do anything until you agree, because 2 times, 3 times maybe, certain things have happened when they've been in the middle of talks, so they're not going to fall for it again. But it doesn't mean that they know what the parameters are, and Pakistan, being the mediator, would continue mediating, yes? Mm-hmm. But there was no actual agreement to have the physical talks, as in the visit to Pakistan to for Iran and America to talk. But we were told that that was the situation, and it never happened. You know, it never happened.
Are we sure about
There
that?
was no agreement. Yes, because the guy is in Moscow at the moment. If you look today, he had a tour booked where he's touring certain countries. Yes,
Yeah,
and
he met
yes,
with Putin today, and
yes,
the
yeah.
meeting.
But
And it's
I'm
interesting. They want a deal to lift the Hormuz blockade, and that postpones the nuclear talks. And Macron just recently spilled the beans. I think did I put it in there? This past week about Russia, China, and the U.S. are basically working together. I don't know if you saw that, but I put the videos down at the bottom.
Not. There's so much stuff coming out.
And so you wonder how, Pakistan is currently like the mediator between Iran and the U.S., but what if, Iran went to Putin and Putin was able to work some stuff out? And we were always told that China, Russia, and the United States, and POTUS, being President Trump, have been working to take out the New World Order, or the NWO, which could be the N is what we question all the time.
Lisa, do you want to say something quick before I play this?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is new for me too. So Mr. Frenchie was the boyfriend. Oh, excuse me, the husband. I mean wife.
First, we should not underestimate that this is a unique moment where a US president, a Russian president, a Chinese president are dead against the Europeans. So this is the right moment for us. Wake up.
What do you say, dead against? Let me hear that again.
Dead against the Europeans. President, a Chinese president are dead against the Europeans.
Like dead against? Okay, I'm just trying
to... The thing is, it's like, the Europeans, they've been, let's say, massaging their enemies. I will call them enemies because that's how they're looking at it. They're doubling down. It's obvious Europe, the UK, we did Brexit, we left Europe, and we're being taken back into Europe. Europe is like, well, we need to defend ourselves. So we need to have a unified defense force. They're looking at putting all of their money, in which they've got no money, let me tell you, into a pot so that they can have their own defense, They couldn't defend. They just can't defend, because a lot of them, they've just got no equipment, no money, and what they've got isn't good, really and truthfully. But he said that they're dead against, but Europe has created its own enemies. Remember, Russia's the bogeyman for Europe, China, they talk about China, but they all need China. And they've all been over to China to, try and, get deals and things like that. A lot of reliance on China. We've been giving China huge contracts to build our what's called HS2, which is our, supposedly really fast railway. We gave the contract to China. We're our biggest nuclear plant that's being built. Theresa May gave the contract to China.
Damn.
Keir Starmer went over to China just recently. And I think somebody else, was it Canada, went over to China or met with China? They've all been meeting with China. So I can't listen to what they're saying. Do you see what I mean? Because what they're saying and what they're doing are usually two different things. That makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
And then I think it's been, a couple hours since King Charles... And as I'm doing this for you, Lisa, you can correct the terminology, but the fake queen arrived to visit President Trump and First Lady Melania. So while this is going on, we know that England's or the UK's influence on, say, Strait of Hormuz, and then President Trump's making a trip to China in, I don't know, a couple weeks, if that. And the moving and the shaking behind the scenes, I find interesting. And what's actually going on?
Moving and the shaking. Well, I mean,
China have been involved in the negotiations in the background. China have a really good relationship with Iran, and so do Russia. Russia has a strategic relationship with Iran, and China does as well.
What negotiations are you speaking of?
The supposed negotiations, that there were, I believe China were instrumental in getting Iran to talk to America in the first place. Yes?
So they
For
did
the first
talk.
meeting. No, they did, but I'm saying since then, there's been no agreement to continue the talks, although we've been told that or proved that. But if you really look into it, it didn't happen. Didn't happen.
Let me see.
But technical things are still going on in the background. But I'm saying a physical meeting, and then why would you not send somebody that is, like part of the government? Witkoff and Kushner, they're not part of the government, right?
See what the chat's.
I think Kushner, isn't he an advisor? And then Witkoff, I thought he had a role, but I'm not sure.
Well, they're not.
Are they part of the special
diplomats? They're not diplomats. I know Kushner isn't kind of employed by the government. Do you see what I mean? So I'm talking like a proper official position. So if this is going on, if this is going on where you've got a virtual war going on,
he's part of the special envoy. Jared Kushner is.
Yeah, I'm gonna just find some information that's been dug up recently. One sec.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read something here. And I'm just going to, because I don't want to play this guy's video, but apparently he's talking about these guys over in the IGC. And we have some update from the ongoing infighting following the recent IRGC coup in Iran. And so whether they are having talks, back channel talks or not, apparently they're having some infighting over there. It says, but everything goes back to the weirdos inside the regime. This is the head of the Parliament's National Security and Foreign Policy Committee, Ibrahim Azizi. According to him, the ceasefire was only accepted in order for Iran to rebuild their military capacity and weapons. And of course, it's like he's trying to bluff and show his cards, basically. He says the ceasefire was actually for us to rearm ourselves. There's a problem with that statement, which I'll explain in a second. He has said the pause in fighting offered an opportunity to reload and strengthen the armed forces. So some ask whether accepting a ceasefire at this stage was right or not. That was necessary to rebuild capabilities and to improve our forces. Now 2 issues with this. Go ahead, rearm yourselves and get ready again. So they've been, apparently, what this guy has been seeing is that they're talking and then they're actually fracturing inside because, like I've said before, are they talking? Or wait, are they talking to Habibi over there, or are they not? Wait, because Trump just said
they don't even know. He said that they don't know their leadership, and then they're losing $500 million a day, and then they only had a few days before the pipeline burst, unless they could relieve pressure. So, Lisa, hold on, please. So then they ignited the oil to release some of that pressure, but there's still a timeline around that. And they still could burst. And President Trump had mentioned them. Their pipelines that are underground, I think, is what he said.
Well, they have the equivalent of like a National Security Council, and they've always had it. It has a chairman. It has the usual structure. Their president wasn't just the president this year. He's been the same president for the last few years. Do you see what I mean? And the relevant people are involved in this National Security Council. They have people, representatives from the military and all of that. For me, it seems like they're all singing from exactly the same hymn sheet. From what I can gather and from what is what is shown. Like, look, they sent 71 people because they wanted, to be able to make a decision. They had all of the people that they need to speak to at that meeting.
College student Cole.
America sent Kushner, and Witkoff and Vance, who actually didn't have any authority to make a decision at that meeting. And, we've been told about the phone calls within the negotiations with...
well, I think Trump made it pretty obvious that he said there's no point in going 14-hour plane trips when we just have a phone call. So it's more also a delay tactic. If you want to make a deal, just make a deal. I agree with President Trump. You just quit BS and quit stalling. Let's get it done. And I think they're having trouble aligning their leadership, whatever that might be, because they don't have a particular leader right now, unless that one's in the coma, which is the son.
Yeah,
and that list right there of all the people that have been killed. And it's a lot of leaders. It's like over 27. I don't know how many are on that board, but
when they agreed the ceasefire, there was certain caveats that they had, and nothing's changed. And one of them was to get rid of the blockade. And they've just said, you don't do that, we're not going to budge. And they've stuck to it. That's what I know.
Yeah,
Really?
and the whole point, and they're tracking the shadow fleets. Here, I got a video I found very interesting.
Hold on.
For you, and a few, yeah.
Yeah, we got to catch up here. So again, can't say the validity of this, but they have a video here. It says the Islamic Republic once again accidentally confirms that Mojtaba Khomeini is in fact dead. They unveiled a mural of all the leaders that have been martyred, quote, martyred, in Mashhad, the birth city of Khomeini's. They probably didn't expect anyone else would see the footage. So what they're saying is here, the one that's supposed to be, he's more of a hardliner, he's more radical than the father was, we're going to be in trouble now. Apparently he's dead. What they were reporting for a while, that he was missing like at least a leg. So if he was alive, maybe he was missing a leg. So I don't know, don't know if he's alive or not, or this could be also the fog of war that they're trying to make people believe that he's dead, So you think you can go on any angle on that whatsoever. I got one real quick one queued up, no pun intended. But this one, I know, this is the Cole guy, but this is a 30-second compilation of, we'll see if you guys know this. Pretty interesting.
Allen developed a prototype for a wheelchair emergency brake.
The wheelchair brakes tend to lock the wheels, but don't actually lock the chair to the ground. The idea with this is to prevent it from moving at all.
Recent Aging into the Future conference held by St. Barnabas Senior Services and the Eisner Foundation offered a test run on products that have the potential to enrich the lives of seniors.
Okay, not Usha Vance. All right, I thought this was going to be a compilation because it was listing it as, but it was basically saying that, what are the coincidences that we have here for all these people? Thomas Crooks appeared in a BlackRock commercial. Ryan Routh was filmed by Newsweek in 2022 about his efforts to recruit mercenaries in Ukraine. And Cole Allen, ABC News. Isn't it weird how all the would-be assassins appear to be, and then this is just, I'm reading this post, MK Ultra Project Artichoke assets.
Yeah.
Artichoke.
Yeah.
So, now we get the next video. Go ahead, Lisa, sorry.
And the picture, I don't know whether you showed it, but the picture of the guy that they've got on the floor in the hotel, I don't know. I haven't compared it with the picture of the guy that we just saw. Is it the same guy? Do you know what I mean? The guy who's on the floor where they've got his kind of his top of his body is naked, who's supposed to be the shooter. I just wonder whether his skull shape is the same of the guy that we just saw. Do you know what I mean? It's for me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd like to be able to check that out.
He's already appeared in court.
There you go. That.
And he's been charged.
But
whatever crimes attempting to assassinate
college student
President
Cole
Trump.
Allen
But
developed.
I think he. I wouldn't be surprised if he's LGBTQ5 QS, whatever other. I heard there's like a huge line of letters they've taken from the alphabet now.
I just put an FBI report in the bottom there. Space shot.
Okay. Oh yeah. I'm just really quick. I'm just kind of looking at this to see, because clearly, what was that? 2017. So that would be 9 years ago. Not sure about we can gain the head shape or not, but ears. How about ears? You guys know I'm an ear guy. It looks like that one might be pierced. I don't know if we can see anything on there. Little tiny ears. You said you got a video. I'm sorry, Lisa. Can you repeat that?
And there's an FBI report that I just put at the bottom on Jared Kushner, which is interesting
as well. This one. What are we doing? This one here. Okay. FBI confidential human sourcing report. Oh God. Monday, October 20th. Brenda Tillerson, phone number. You want to just give me the breakdown on this, Lisa? Like the quick and easy on this one?
Yeah, it's basically saying that they believe that Jared Kushner is a Mossad agent.
Nice.
And it's a report from the FBI. I can't remember what date it was done.
October 5th, 16th, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Harry, I don't even know what this is.
It just basically says that he's carrying out, it's an FBI report and it's a document, and it claims Kushner is linked to Mossad and is carrying out Israeli interests to influence the United States. According to the report, Kushner took control of operations connected to Jeffrey Epstein and used his influence to shape political, financial, and strategic decisions in the U.S. That's what it says.
All right, and that's
all I'm saying.
Well, first off, just so everybody knows, and you guys have heard me say numerous times, I don't trust Jared Kushner. Never have, never will. I never liked this guy. Again, I don't know where this came from, the authenticity of it. Where'd you get this, Lisa? Got an FBI link?
I just got it sent. No, I just got it sent to me. So either it's true, either it's not. It's an FBI report. That's all I can say on what it's saying.
From what I could pull up about it, it said that it was like one of the Russian interference reports, possibly, and it's 2017, possibly. And they're basically, you know how rigged that report is, so it could also be them trying to pin Jared Kushner as a foreign asset, and framing Trump as usual. So I need a little bit more context.
Wait, I think we should believe this because it says right here, Trump has been compromised by Israel, and Kushner is the real brains behind his organization and his presidency. There it is.
Oh boy,
there it is.
But the thing is, if you look at when it was done, who was the head of the FBI, at that time? Wasn't it still
Ray?
Mr. Comey?
Might have been Ray.
Yeah, So you've got to add all of that in as well.
Thank you guys.
We know that Netanyahu used to stay at Kushner's house, when he visited the US. They're very good friends.
The US.
So this is another kind of war tactic video that I came across that I thought was well explained, and I'll keep trying to come across more of these. So here we go.
Let's take a listen. Boom.
Just found an incredibly smart way to strangle Iran's economy. Over the past 2 weeks, American forces have seized 4 Iranian-linked oil tankers. The Savine, Donera, Tiffany, and a 4th one reportedly taken yesterday, with the 5th one called Dereya allegedly stuck in Indian waters, unable to offload its crude. See, the US isn't intercepting these ships anywhere near Iran. They're letting them transit all the way across the Arabian Sea, only moving in once the tankers are deep into international waters, sometimes right before delivery. The Tiffany, for instance, was grabbed by the USS Louis B. Puller in the Bay of Bengal, more than 3,000 miles from Iranian waters. That distance gives the Navy clean, uncontested international waters to operate in, and it psychologically breaks the captain. They can spend 8 days at sea thinking they have escaped, only to find out the trap was waiting for them the entire time. Now, the reason this matters so much is that Iran earns roughly $40 to $50 billion a year from oil exports, and 90% of that money comes from China. The whole operation ran on a fleet of about 2,000 VLCCs and Airmax tankers, and Aframax tankers, the so-called shadow fleet, which Iran built up specifically to dodge sanctions. Each VLCC carries around 2 million barrels. So every sieger isn't just one ship, it's hundreds of millions of dollars in crude oil and a tanker that took Iran years to acquire through shell companies and flag of convenience tricks. Now that the US is seizing their ships, insurers are refusing coverage for Iranian-linked vessels. Chinese buyers are reportedly demanding even steeper discounts to offset the risk, which eats into Iran's already shrinking margins. Crews are refusing to sail, and because the US is hitting these ships thousands of miles from Iran, there's nothing Tehran can actually do to protect them.
Interesting. And again, I'm not the tactician or tactician. There we go, tactician there. So
Great war theory and tactics. Showing that this shadow fleet really does have an impact. And you got to remember, the Biden administration gave Iran, I think, $16 billion. So it's $500 million a day that Iran's losing. 32 days would cover the balance. Maybe Trump's making an example of that. I don't know, but
there've been 47 years under sanctions, so 47 years not being treated like not being able to operate like a normal country, and then apparently the figures go in the last 3 months due to the rise in oil prices, they have earned more money than they have in the last 2 years in the last few months. From oil that they've actually sold. There's a reason why they're sanctioned. There's a video, I don't know if you'll be able to play it because of the music, but shows basically from 1979 and then thereafter the killings that Iran's done in order to be sanctioned. And it's right at the bottom of the chat. So if you want to check that out. They do a good job explaining it. Sorry. At the bottom of the chat, it does. There's I don't know if you'll be able to play it because of the song, but you'll have to check it out.
This one here?
But it does a great job, yeah.
If so, we'll cut it out later on YouTube. You guys remember, if you're on YouTube, come over to rumble or pill.net to see the whole show. Because if you're not watching this live as you are now, you would not see this.
Since the end of World War II, Iran has been a strategic ally to the United States and Western civilization. The Shah enacted reforms in Iran that ushered in an unprecedented era of prosperity for all. But a toxic combination of the poisoned ideologies of Marxism and jihadism brought peace and prosperity to an abrupt end. In 1979, the Marxist jihadists usurped the government and installed a new regime of terror. They seized the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and held 52 American hostages for well over a year. In 1983, they bombed the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, killing 17 Americans. In October that year, they bombed the Marine barracks that slaughtered 241 U.S. service members. This was the deadliest loss for the Marines since World War II. In 1985, they hijacked TWA Flight 847, taking hostages and murdering a U.S. service member. This is what President Trump had to say about it in 1987.
The next time Iran attacks this country, go in and grab one of their big oil installations, and I mean grab it and keep it, and get back your losses, because this country has lost plenty because of Iran.
In 1996, they bombed the Khobar Towers in Saudi Arabia, killing 19 U.S. airmen. In January of 2016, 10 U.S. sailors were detained by the Iranians. The very next day, Marxist jihadist Barry Obama started sending pallets of cash to the Iranian government, totaling nearly $2 billion. President Trump had some choice words about that as well.
$400 million in cash being flown in an airplane to Iran. I wonder where that money really goes, by the way, right? I wonder where it really goes. Well, it went to either in their pockets which I actually think more so, or toward terrorism. Probably a combination of both.
In 2023, he had this to say.
I will shatter the deep state once and for all.
And that's exactly what he's doing. When you see these imbeciles on the internet talking about fighting Israel's war, show them this video and tell them to shut the fuck up. He didn't start a new war, he's ending an old one. This has been another public service announcement, paid for by the Dilly Meme Team.
So they haven't been the nicest neighbors to us, I guess, huh?
Not at all.
Well,
and it's been a playground for criminal activity. So,
well,
yeah, I also. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Lisa. You good?
And I also looked at, this Brzezinski guy who was like the former U.S. National Security Advisor and author of The Grand Chessboard. By the way, Iran invented chess, people. I thought that was a funny
wasn't
one.
the Chinese? Thought they invented everything.
but this Brzezinski, who's been around advising lots of presidents and Kissinger and I think maybe Carter and various different people in the US. He wrote a book and he explains how the global elites plan to obtain even more power. And society must accept the idea of a one world government. For this, we need wars, famines, and epidemics. That's what he said in 2009, and the thing is, it's like, when you look at this, you wonder whether the same is happening now. Yeah. So that's been my questioning, because there are global strategies and global strategies of control. I'm not excusing anybody actually in kind of looking at this, but all wars are bankers' wars. Who's making money from these wars? The military-industrial complex, I think that they're very cash rich at the moment and probably have secured their future for the next few years as far as their income is concerned, But I think it's interesting to have a look at these global strategies that are being enacted on the world and may still be being enacted, for all we know.
I definitely see a realignment of power and everything Trump said, from bringing manufacturing back to the United States, bringing the economy back, and he's proven that we've been stolen from. However, which way that they could slice it up, they were giving away our money. Fake programs and USAID. That was a CIA cesspool of black money, and so there was a lot of corruption going on, not a whole lot of watching what was actually occurring. So I think through this process we're going to get what we've always talked about is a leisured way of transacting money that's traceable. So we're going to get away from these old time bank wars that have been going on. I think that truly that's what we're upending underneath a lot of this are these old stakeholds and areas that have been there for a long time, and trying to divert that power structure so that it gives it back to the people. And we're witnessing the thrashings of the two sides disagreeing.
Something big is up for sure.
We all feel it. We all know that something's monumental has been going on. So I just see that this is that restructuring. China has got another port of a port of entry or port that they can transport through illegally. There is election stuff having to do with Iran too. I'm going to find that real quick for us, and I'll leave it there and find it. try to find it.
That's cool. We got a lot of other stories too to contend with, other than Iran, which all in all, it's not been a lot of big news in the last couple of days. But, we'll see how it goes there. But this was interesting, Mac. You had dropped this one. I don't know if it's a video. Maybe just let this guy's video play and we can reset here. I don't know who this overly tan guy is, but interesting emails that they're finding from the Epstein stuff.
You guys, I just found another email from Jeffrey Epstein. This one is from Peter Thiel. Look him up, to Jeffrey Epstein. By the way, Peter Thiel is a billionaire. Listen to this. The intentionality argument would center around making sure the U.S. gets less involved with the rest of the world. I think that's the plan. The more of a mess with just lots of bad guys on different sides, the less we will do. Now, this is what Jeffrey wrote back to Peter Thiel. I keep hearing your intentionality argument. Imagine if this mess is what Obama really wanted. Iran, Iraq, Libya, Syria, Palestine, Lebanon, Egypt. We would have it admit a strategy brilliantly executed. What happened right before Trump went into power? All of those countries I just named, Iraq, Iran, Libya, Syria, Palestine, they're all in the news right now. And this email is from Monday, 6/16/2014. Who was the president in 2014? Obama.
And Mr. Thiel there, which we are very connected to President Trump's Mr. Sweaty Thiel there. Add that to the guys, the list of folks that I certainly don't trust. But interesting. Thoughts on that one?
That was one of the videos I was looking for, so that's a good one.
Well, you dropped it in the chat earlier.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, good. I'm glad it was mine.
Kind of falls in line with some, like I said, there's global strategies that have been going on for years, and maybe we're seeing them still being played out. The countries that he mentioned, it's like, are they the Silk Road? Remember the Silk Road, the old trade routes that did not involve America? Yes, they're ancient trade routes, but they're more to do with what they call Eurasia. So Russia, Asia, I think, like Malacca Strait or something like that. Another choke point that's run by the South Asians. And the trade routes that would come through from China all the way across. I think I think you can include like Myanmar as well. But I'm wondering whether there is a separate struggle for control or to keep control. Yes, because what that would mean is that there's a part of the world that's trading without America, yes, because they always did in the past. So I'm just following that train of thought. The bigger grand strategies and control.
Mm-hmm. On here. Mac, did you find what you were looking for?
Oh.
Not yet. It's frustrating.
Well, this is an interesting point too. I should have had this lumped in with the assassination stuff, the air quotes assassination. Paul Sperry says federal investigators are looking into a possible connection between arrested would-be Trump assassin Cole Thomas Allen and Stacey Abrams' fair fight action, as well as the radical Black Lives Matter developing. So possibility, this is all these different groups, and I'm so happy, the SPLC. I think what's the other one, the other long-standing one? I know I'm certainly hoping Media Matters will be added to that list as well. But, oh God, what's the other one that was started in 1913? ACLU? They're probably going to get wrapped up in this stuff as well. So Remember, our country was so racist that they had to pay people to act racist. And they're actually paying these groups of people to do certain things. And remember, too, Black Lives Matter with the Blue Act Blue stuff, all the donations that were going in there that, thousands and, well, not thousands, millions and millions of dollars from people that didn't even know they were donating. So it's a huge, huge deal. But is it possible that, Stacey Abrams people are connected to this? I wouldn't doubt it, but who knows? Who knows? We'll see.
Well, we know we know that there is there's an investigation into Act Blue, isn't there? Right now.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember who's doing it. Mac, you might know that. But Stacey Abrams wasn't she one of the
listen to
beneficiaries
this.
of
the fat one?
Right?
I forgot to mention this. Was it Paul Sperry? Yeah, there you go. This one right here. Sorry, I'm late. I just found that video. Posted in the chat for later. Sorry,
That's
but you
Stacey
saw
Abrams, Lisa.
Yeah.
The one that looks like you could kick
Go
a
ahead,
field goal.
Lisa.
You could kick a field goal through her front two teeth.
I thought I think this is it. Where she had, I think it was something like a non-profit, but she got a lot of money from the government, and the company. I'm not sure that they actually spent the money. Do you see what I mean? On whatever it was that they were given, the purpose of why they were given the money. But there was definitely something. Yeah. Huh.
That crazy.
There
I think there was one where she got $2 billion on one of them.
That's the one. Yeah. It was, yeah. And they had no experience in that area either. They were given a massive amount. I think it was during. Was it? I don't know whether it was during.
It was during Biden's
administration. Yes.
Wow. I mean, it's just, and again, all the money that these people get through fraud and illegality, and just imagine if they were putting that towards the world being a better place, right? We could all be living in absolute utopia here. But again, right here, paid $20 million to a lawyer who was a close friend and helped set up 2 of her private businesses. Unreal. They directed tax-exempt donations and government grants to Allegra Lawrence Hardy, her former campaign chair. Most of the funds covered legal expenses charged by the boutique law firm for a failed race-biased lawsuit against Abrams' Republican opponent Brian Kemp after she lost to him in Georgia's 2018. But you guys said there's another one with $2 billion with a B? Wow. This is $20 million.
Yeah. Like her business, they maybe had one transaction, and then they applied for, money with the government, and they granted them $2 billion. I think President Trump's brought it up in the back in one of his speeches too. Yeah.
That's it, Mike. That's the one. That's the one.
Wow. Tax fair. They're trying to tell me. I'm looking at the AI overview, telling me that she personally took $2 million in taxpayer money is wrong and stems from a misinterpretation of a federal green energy grant. Yeah, so it sounds to me like she was taking advantage of this stuff, just like people were doing during COVID. She dissolved her organization, at least back on my birthday here.
And it all seems, it all seems a bit Tim Walsh. Everybody knew what was going on, they're all in on it just to be able to funnel money or even launder money,
Absolutely. It's so wild how much money these people were into. And, guys, I think it's time for a funny. And I think I put this one in the chat earlier, guys. If you guys need a good laugh, here it comes, because I thought she was better than this, but here we go. Maybe I shouldn't have put my faith.
The Alien Enemies Act was invoked. It was used to detain and deport German, Japanese, Italian immigrants during World War XI.
Oh, I gotta hear that again.
German, Japanese, Italian immigrants during World War XI.
Dude, that bad? Are you serious? Oh my gosh! I mean, how bad?
Did you know that her and her husband have now changed. Remember, they put in their accounts to show that a company went from being valued at having a few thousand in dollars in assets up to like 30 million in a very short space of time. Well, now they've redressed their accounts and changed them, and I think that they're hoping that the investigation will stop now that they've adjusted their accounts, as they call it, and that there was a mistake made. You know?
Yeah, at least it was just a little accounting error, little $30 million accounting error, no big deal.
My hand slipped a couple extra zeros, like 5.
Yeah.
The 0 button was stuck. I mean, what can we go with there? Like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the funny thing here is like that's quite a big error, like marrying your own brother or hiring an accountant who went to a Leering Center.
Studied World War 11.
I mean, that is just so bad. Like, even when she had to have, like, when she read that, she had to have noticed. Like, no, you didn't even notice when you read that how bad that was. Whereas I don't have it, but it's just pathetic. Like nobody. I guess they all just assumed she would get it, but apparently that's not the case. But yeah, $30 million, guys. But now she's listed back at the $95,000. Almost did the same error. Wait, can we do Nancy Pelosi next? Can we do that one? Can we please? That'd be the next one. I've had a lot of fun with that one because what's her net worth? 120 to 200 million. Nobody seems to really get an accurate number on that deal.
And counting.
Right. Let's see.
I did find that video. It shows China, Iran, Serbia, and others that were directly sending and receiving data from every single swing state and many other election precincts during and after the 2020 election.
Really?
Yeah.
Getting wild out there, guys. And again, I got another one that's this one is, well, you know what? We don't even need to. It's just basically you got reporters essentially repeating what I think Lisa was talking about earlier, which is how lax the security was at the event. And, it's a hot mic and they're like, this is ridiculous. These people, they don't have good security. And Lisa's point was absolutely on point in that they grabbed, JD by the back of his tie or his jacket there and picked him right up out of his seat. And then about 10 seconds later, they walked Trump out of there. And it's like, what the hell is going on here? But yeah, I just thought this one was cool, guys. If for no other reason, just because it's a cool design. Apparently, they're pulling out Independence One, they're calling this. Southwest Air. I used to fly Southwest when I had to travel for work. Most of the time, we drove and whatnot. But take a look at this, the design of this thing. Pretty cool.
This is Independence One.
Turn the stupid music off so we don't have to clip it, but just thought it was pretty cool. Red, white, and blue, 1776. Very, very cool. And then we got the 250th birthday of the United States coming today. Lisa, was King Charles there? Was he here to help us celebrate escaping from you guys?
Well, apparently he's going to give a little speech as well. I don't know when he's going to do that, but he's slated to, and he's going to try and stick to the 250 years, of your breakout of slavery to the UK, But
I think Queen Elizabeth II was the last, or was the first royalty to speak to Congress, and King Charles is going to be the second, and possibly the last.
When will King Charles speech? I want to make sure we can.
But he's going to keep it there because there's a fractured relationship between President Trump and Keir Starmer. He was in trouble. He was really in trouble at the moment, and so this is it's like our Charles is being sent there like our diplomatic cosh, to try and smooth things out. Because if I was Trump, I wouldn't even pick up the phone to start. I wouldn't even accept his calls, But Charles is being sent in there yet again to smooth things out between the two countries diplomatically.
What is going on with Starmer today? I saw a bunch of news about him were they like 3 arson boys, or I couldn't figure it out. Do you know anything?
Well, there's the thing with Peter Mandelson, who was the ambassador to Washington or whatever. He was Epstein's friend. In his bathrobe. Spending a lot of time with Epstein. Spent time at Epstein's place whilst Epstein was in prison, and also sent what you would call what do you call it? Like national security information. So economic information about the Bank of England, he was sending that to Epstein. There's not just the UK that's doing a investigation into that. But I think there's the European Union might be looking into it, or another European country. So that's still rumbling, because more recently, all of the, he employed or gave Peter Mandelson that position. And, if you look at Peter Mandelson's background, I believe that some people said, he won't pass national security, but he was still given the job, Wow. And there's a gentleman who's a civil servant, Ollie something his name is. He was sacked, and he gave a testimony, I think it was last Friday or Thursday, where he said that Starmer and Starmer's office were putting pressure on the civil servants to give Mandelson that position. Because Mandelson's it'd be like, who's a grandee of like Republican politics or whatever, and they just want to make sure that he gets a job, that he's still got a hand in there and stuff like that. Bearing in mind, Mandelson, he was called something like the Dark Knight. He was good at the dark arts, and he was either sacked or resigned about 3 times. I think maybe once or twice in Tony Blair's administration, when Tony Blair was the prime minister, and then also after that as well. So somebody that's been sacked, yes, or had to resign over certain things, you don't put him in a job as the ambassador to Washington, and then he just happens to be really good friends with Mandelson. And then there's something else regarding like rape gangs as well, maybe Rochdale. But anyway, so Starmer, who used to be the head of Crown prosecutions, which is the equivalent of your Attorney General, he didn't do an investigation. It's something to do with that, and it's all coming back to haunt him because he made the decisions, and he should be in trouble. But you know how it goes in politics. His party will rally around him and they'll say, "Oh no, he hasn't done anything wrong," and he'll probably keep his job. Because it's just too sticky for them with the elections coming up on something like May the 7th. Yeah, we've got elections coming up.
Interesting. And, people asked him why he didn't step down. Did you see that little short blurb here? This is fun.
Hey, Lisa, who do you think should win if it was...
And who's it going to be?
Yeah, and who's it going to be?
I have no idea.
Well, Starmer should not be in there, but it's like...
Oh, who's the best candidate, for Patriots,
There's no such thing, really. Well, if it's I don't, you see, our politics is messy, if somebody like Farage gets in, does he represent change? remember we're more or less like a two-party politics. That's it. It's one or the other.
How much is like the MI5, MI6 involved in politics in the UK? Are they deeply involved?
Probably, but not up front, because we have, like the House of Lords and the House of Commons, which is basically like the equivalent of your Senate and Congress. They would probably have a lot of influence on the people who are members of those houses. Yes, but as far as if you're talking about rigging the elections, I don't know. I really can't say. I can't say. We do have to have ID to vote, though. By the way, you never used
You're
to
already
have
better
to take
than ours.
ID. We never used, but we only started doing that like maybe not that long ago. We never took ID, but they do quite quite deep checks on when you go on the voting register. There are checks on who you are, where you lived for the last like 6 years or whatever, and triangulation on whether you are that person.
I remember you mentioning something along the lines that they restrict certain areas sometimes from voting.
Starmer did it. Starmer did it. So like the equivalent of, let's say, local elections, he came up with this thing where it's like, oh, well, we're redrawing certain lines and that means it's going to be expensive, so it's not worth having an election. And about 30 different local governments decided that they weren't going to have an election. There was uproar, but they just decided. But really, it was because he would lose. So there are certain things like that. Remember, he was head of Crown prosecution, so he knows how to use lawfare. And that's what they used, so that people didn't get to vote,
Unreal.
Yeah.
Let's see what the interview with the reason why he hasn't stepped down, or what he tells this woman here anyway.
It turns to you and says, enough's enough. This pressure is intolerable. Would you listen to her?
I always listen to Vic. And I think she was the one in the first place that basically said, why on earth would you want to go into politics? But she is an absolute...
And your answer to that question now?
She is an absolute rock. And I confide in her all of the time, and hers is the best advice. And I'm just thankful that I've got her every day.
And at the moment, she's advising you to keep going.
She is, yes, and we talk everything through, and it's fantastic. We've got also two fantastic kids, a 17-year-old and a 15-year-old. I can't tell you how much joy and happiness they bring. They are my pride and joy every...
Oh, my goodness. So how's his beard? I mean, how's his wife present? I mean, this dude, there's no way he's straight. Like, I'm sorry, with all the stuff we've seen about him in the past.
I think a lot of people would agree with you as well.
Unreal. But did you guys end up getting to catch the beginning of when King Charles had arrived here today? And
the national anthem.
Like, dude, what?
Did they not play the other song? Usually they might play
did,
both.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I mean, but like, look.
What happened?
Here you go, Lisa. Welcome to the United States, King Charles. He's like, wait, that's not my song.
The funny thing is, the first couple of notes, it could have been like the English national anthem, but then on the third note, you're just like, no, definitely not. That is funny. And they've done so much work in, like, how do we deal with President Trump and his particular character, and how do we not kind of stumble and all of that. They the Brits. They would have had all of these office people studying Trump and going, let's not do this and let's not do that, and let's just keep it to how great America is, 250 years, and we won't mention all kinds of other things, where we might get in trouble. But it's Camilla had a bit of filler in her face.
Well, so notice the beginning too, Mac, just really quick. When they start playing the music, like, she's got a little smirk on here. She looks happy. And to me, I catch a little glare of like, it seemed to me like, wait, that's not our song. And then they just kept the face, like a stern face. So happy, and let's see the whatever. All right, maybe it's UK. Maybe it's UK. Wait, a little giggle there. That's not us.
Prince Charles put his tongue in his cheek, or King Charles. Like, oh man.
I don't know. I mean,
But you know that President Trump is a great host, and he's probably just top tier hosting them and making sure of it. So it's going to be an interesting trip they're going to have, I think.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be tomorrow, guys. From what the overview, Google overview said, speech is part of a 4-day state visit to the USA, 27th through the 30th, and he is scheduled to deliver a historic speech to a joint session of Congress Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. So I don't know, maybe 10, 12 tomorrow. I wouldn't think they do a nighttime thing, but you never know. Who knows? See how it plays out. But things are getting interesting over here. I mean, he's going to come over here to what? Congratulate us on our 250 years of escaping? Like, I don't know.
Yes, absolutely. No, he will. He will. And how great America is as a country. That's what he's going to stick to. Because anything else is perilous.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Perilous.
Through the perilous night. What a great song too, and the story behind it all was great as well. Trump posted out, I was gonna pop it up, but he played. Did you guys know he played tennis with Serena Williams? I don't remember even ever seeing that. I just thought.
He did a promotional thing.
I just thought it was interesting. Like, obviously he's not. I'm not
early 2000s, maybe.
Oh, he's definitely younger. He's probably when he was doing The Apprentice, would be my guess. But like, dude, he's actually out here.
Performance Center.
And clearly she didn't hit the ball as hard as she could, because he wouldn't have been able to return it. But he had a couple of good shots, and then this one goes into the crowd. And then she's like, all right, here, nice easy one for you, Don. A little bouncy. And he's like, so I just thought that was interesting. But he did have another post talking about he's getting involved with late night talk show host stuff again, guys. And, we've shown it, and I'll probably show that clip of the whistling guy that I was discussing earlier, Mac. But he says, wow, Jimmy Kimmel, who is in no way funny as attested to by his terrible television ratings, made a statement on his show that is really shocking. He showed a fake video of the First Lady, Melania, and our son Barron, like they were actually sitting in his studio listening to him speak, which they weren't, and never would be. He then stated, quote, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful, Mrs. Trump. You have a glow like an expectant widow. A day later, a lunatic tried entering the ballroom of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, loaded up a shotgun, handgun, many knives. He was there for a very obvious and sinister reason. I appreciate that so many people are incensed by Kimmel's despicable call to violence and normally would not be responsive to anything that he said, but there is something far beyond the pale. Jimmy Kimmel should be immediately fired by Disney and ABC. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Now, I don't know how connected he is to these people, because did Disney and ABC just get bought up by Paramount, or is that a separate group? Because I know there's like monopolies out there, and I don't know who owns what, but I think he's connected to the Paramount people. Trump is, anyway. Not sure about Disney and ABC and how they stretch out. You guys have any idea on those?
Yeah, no, you're right about connected to the Paramount. Paramount is Larry Ellison, the guy from Oracle, the guy who's now running TikTok. It's his son that runs Paramount, and Paramount were they were the ones that was it bought Warner Brothers or something like that more recently? You know, they're in competition with Netflix, and then Netflix, I think, ended up pulling out or something.
Oh. Speaking of, did you hear who's out of Netflix lately? Ah.
Oh, go on. I can't remember.
And make sure you come back to that. Trump had a post after the one you showed, not this one, the one before. I wanted to point something out.
Oh, absolutely. Pop this up quick, just kind of mulling stuff over here. It says Big Mike and Barack Obama, Obama's Higher Ground production companies parting ways with Netflix. Obama's film production reportedly leaving Netflix to go somewhere else. Ugh, that's one big arm right there. Hate to have to arm wrestle him. But yeah, apparently they're outski over there, and I wonder what's going to happen with Susan Rice and all the other people that are. Was it Valerie Jarrett or Susan Rice or both of them? I don't even know. But yeah, too many connections. This one, Mac.
Hit back.
Okay. Come on. Go back to his truths here, or do you want? What do you want me to look at again? I'm sorry.
Go down. Yeah, just put in down. That one right there. Kids, 100 years.
Oh yeah.
I found that interesting. The 100 years. So I looked back 100 years ago, which is 1926. It was Imperial Conference, which concluded on November 22nd. This conference produced the Balfour Declaration, a landmark agreement that affirmed the dominions of the British Empire, including Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and the Irish Free State, as equal in status to the United Kingdom, no longer subordinate in domestic or foreign affairs.
Could be talking about countries separate from their rulers.
Well, there have been many countries that have been kind of colonialized by the UK, and fairly recently, kind of declaring themselves sovereign. I forget the most recent one. I'll have to look it up. But Lisa, you remember this? There was a couple, I think, in Africa as well.
Caribbean.
The Caribbean.
Caribbean. And also Jamaica.
Yeah.
Once its independence, I think William and Kate visited there. And I think during that visit, they talked about independence or something. There's another island. But there is a few. There is a few. But you know, we are imperialists. You know, us and America. You know, we like imperialism.
Oh my goodness!
But
I found it. It was Argentina.
Well, there's the Argentina, Mac. President Trump truth about, you know, he was kind of railing against Starmer, and I think he said something like, I'm paraphrasing, so please look it up, what he exactly said, but he's thinking about not supporting Britain keeping the Falkland Islands. And there's, you know, there's historic kind of friction because the Falkland Islands are right next to Argentina. And Argentina, more recently, have just bought some F-whatever jets. Britain are like, oh my God, you know, so it's like... I just have to laugh because it's just great to see. It's just really funny, you know. So like we've kept hold of the Falkland Islands. We even went to war, you know, over keeping the Falkland Islands, and I think that was in Maggie Thatcher's day. And just the other day, Trump said, I might support Argentina getting the Falkland Islands back, because it's one of those places that we went and we just took it. Yes, and we've been running it ever since. But Argentina, Mila, whatever his name is, who's running Argentina now, he's just bought some serious planes. Yes, which means that he'll be able to take on like the big old British Navy. And by the way, we've got hardly any ships. I think we've got 2 that are potentially operational, but there's issues with those. We don't really have a navy at the moment, really.
Yeah, I saw they mentioned that too, and
which is crazy. That's what you all are known for.
That's it. I know, but over a number of years now, they haven't given money to basically maintain. And I remember a good few years back, billions were given as a budget, and they got like I think 2 aircraft carriers. And guess what? When they were finished, they couldn't even handle planes. So what's happening is the Navy are doing their own procurement, and they haven't done very well with that procurement, and then budgets have been slashed, or no extra money has been given on yearly budgets. So no, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. I think we've got very few people. We're probably at our lowest number ever of military personnel, and then on top of that, there's a number of ships that are just under maintenance for years. Almost dry docked. We don't really have a navy right now, and what we have is not good. But we'll still talk about Trident, which is our nuclear kind of submarine or whatever it is, that we buy from America. That's it.
And
we're ridiculous right now.
Like this one, Mac?
It's a big picture wise. This is a big meeting. King Charles, the city of London, the banking system, the Rothschilds. Trump's talking about backing about the Falkland Islands. He's negotiating in public before he even gets in front of the king. So I'm just curious what the strategy is going to be. I know it's peace, but what is going to be? Hopefully, there's going to be some sort of big announcement, an agreement. But we'll see what happens.
And then you had the Chagos Islands. Remember Diego Garcia, and which you've actually been using for the Iran war that Keir Starmer was going to give away.
Yeah,
and pay them to take it away. Like billions per year. He told us it would cost a couple of billion, and then the next thing it's like tens of billions that we're going to give them to give back that territory. And that's where you have it's very useful strategically now for the Iran war. Refueling, restocking, resource in the Chagos Islands, and he was going to give them back that territory, and it would have gone to I've forgotten the name, but anyway, it's an island that is very much aligned with China. So what's his name? Starmer was all up for doing that, and even signed a deal, and then had to renege on it when President Trump said, "Oh, hold on a minute, we've got a military base there." And also said that America would defend that base if necessary.
Yep. And actually, I gotta I got it for you here. And just really quick before I go to that, somebody made a funny
one
here.
quick point.
Ooh.
And real quick on the Starmer thing, but what's going on is, don't you see that like Europe's being blood dry? They're for the Ukraine war and Russia attacking them, their avenues of gaining money is not there anymore, and they have to scramble to make a deal somewhere. And I'm hoping that this, like I said, is some big news coming up. But go ahead, Space Shot. Sorry.
No, we'll see. With all things, we'll have to see. Just somebody made a funny here. Ilhan Omar realizing her name starts with 11. and this is a little old. This is, I remember this from a few. Did I put it? Where did I put it? In the wrong? Oh, I think I put it in the wrong link.
That's a good one.
Yeah, this one was from I think a few weeks ago. But it's just kind of reiterating what Lisa's talking about. This was actually from January, but they actually mentioned it again in early April. UK not as ready as we need to be for a conflict, says military chief. But they've reiterated that, again, as I said, in early April, maybe late March. But just like Lisa said, and then, they didn't want to help us use the carriers in the beginning, and then they were gonna, and then Trump was like, nah, we're good. So yeah, there's some definitely interesting stuff with the dynamic between the UK and the United States, and our longest ally. Are they really, or are they our longest enemy? We'll see. We'll see how stuff plays out. But I'm going to be interested to see what Charlie's got to say there at the old speech tomorrow. So I definitely don't want to miss that one as well. Anything else you guys want to touch on that particular topic there?
He's looking incredibly well for somebody that's suffering from cancer, don't you think?
For a long time too, right? Like, he's been in the cancer meds for a while. That one. Is that him? You like that one? Where was it? The Kiss My Ring. But yeah, there's a lot more stuff is coming out of about COVID stuff, guys. And so this guy, Nicholas Hocher, I guess he had a little spot on Jimmy Dory here, but I don't know that we need to listen to it. But essentially, 4 independent data sets from 3 countries have now confirmed that COVID shots induced a cancer pandemic. U.S. government SEER cancer data plus 6.4% surge in early onset cancer since 2021. CDC Wonder mortality data, 138,000 excess cancer deaths since 21. South Korean study of 8.4 million, increased risk of 6 major cancers. Italian study of 300,000, increased risk of 3 major cancers. Why isn't this front page news? Well, I think we know why. And this guy, he's got to be like one of these brilliant guys, because he talks like he's just smoked like 5 joints whenever he talks. Let's see if it's different than what's posted here. Let's give him a second.
This should be front page news absolutely everywhere.
Hey guys, Pat, you got a lighter? I can't light this bong here. Give me a new lighter.
Where the gold standard cancer surveillance system confirms the mRNA injections were indeed inducing cancer. Brain tumors were up 19% in those under 50 years old. Central nervous system tumors, breast cancer, stomach cancer. The biggest one was colon cancer, 19% higher. And yeah, it's very worrisome, and it corroborates all 3 independent analyses, 3 of them. 2 of them in different countries. One was in Italy with 300,000 people. They found the mRNA injections increased the risk of 3 distinct types of cancers and overall cancer hospitalizations by 23%. And then we had the study in South Korea with 8 million people and 8.4 million. And they found those increased risks of 6 major cancers, comparing vaccinated to unvaccinated. And lastly, there was another analysis of different CDC data, CDC mortality data, and he found 138,000 excess cancer deaths in the United States alone since 2021. So yeah, these injections appear to have induced a cancer epidemic. This should be...
I mean, that's crazy, guys, right? The cancer epidemic, and then on top of like a flu as well, or whatever. Remember that we replaced the flu that year.
And then they're talking about deaths here now include the injured, and what side effects have come from that. That would be also very interesting figures to find out, because this was essentially the experiment of these jabs on the human population.
Miss Lisa?
And then, that guy that you're talking about that sounds like he's stoned, his name is he's an epidemiologist, and his name is Nicholas Holscher. And he also looked at 2 more studies that indicate that the COVID mRNA injections destroy 60% of women's non-renewable egg supply and decrease pregnancy success by 33%. So what he says is this mass mRNA injection program appears to have functioned as a mass sterilization program.
Yeah, unfortunately. And I'm hearing some nightmare stories. I know relatives that, unfortunately were stupid enough to take, multiple shots. And from what I'm hearing too, it's doing a number on women's, let's just say
Reproductive
reproductive systems, we'll just say, or let's just say their monthly deal. Yeah.
I wonder about Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, uptick in that. There's
all kinds of things.
Yeah, they're just anything you're seeing on TV on a medication is probably caused by a COVID jab. So all these big pharmas are profiteering off of it, and we're paying. These guys are paying attention to the deaths instead of like people still alive, like need to get treatment. So I think there's been a few people have stepped up and they're doing. It's peptides and stem cells. I know stem cells are involved. I'm not sure about peptides though, but it's interesting and very worth looking into.
Didn't President Trump just sign an
Regeneron
order regarding Regeneron? Yeah.
Yep.
And then the other thing with the jabs is, this was so calculated, it was ridiculous. So even the fact where they said, you have one jab and then you have another jab like 8 weeks later. And apparently it's like the immune system can correct itself. So the reason that they chose something like 8 weeks between having the jabs is because that timing is perfect where you kind of overwhelm the immune system so that it can't correct itself. Do you see what I mean? So it was just completely weaponized, but serious thought went into every single aspect of this jab, And from the very beginning, it was like there was a whistleblower in the UK in 2020 that talked about certain ingredients in like the Pfizer jab that came from all of the experimentation that they'd done as far as sterilizing different communities, like in Africa. I think there was like somewhere like Chile or Peru, where there's they've got a smaller population, and they gave the women this jab and it just sterilized them all, like just a huge bunch of women, but they knew exactly what they were doing. And then there's research that's done in Israel too, actually, on that, Have a look at the connections to Israel regarding this jab. You might be shocked. But anyway,
They say
we'll
a lot
leave that one there.
Like almost everybody there took it, right? I'm pretty sure is what they did.
Yeah, they did. They did. There was they were the first ones to get to like near 100%. And a lot of people got stuck in Israel at the time because they couldn't leave because they hadn't had the jab. Like people like foreign to Israel. Who were just there, maybe on holiday or working or whatever. I mean, I just remember some doctor. She was stuck there for like a very long time. Because she didn't want the jab. But they did. They've got really good studies of I think it was Israel that came out with like the mRNA. You find it in every single type of tissue in the body because they've done the tests.
Wow. I mean, it was an absolute nightmare. And guys, isn't it crazy to think that COVID stuff was almost 6 years ago, 5 years ago? Like, time has just been like absolutely scooting like super fast for me anyways. I just find it very interesting how quickly it seems to me that the speed is going through. And yeah, these people absolutely need to pay for it. And I did pull up President Donald Trump announces that FDA has approved a new drug from Regeneron called Otarmeni, a gene therapy curing a rare disease causing deafness because Sierra here, his 2-year-old son, can now hear. And that was interesting too, because I also found, oh, what the hell? Okay, this is the website. I thought this was like one of these. I thought this was one of these things that was giving me a capture over here, but it wasn't. Because I thought they said it was free. So Regeneron cuts White House pricing deal, offers new gene therapy for free. So apparently they're going to be doing the most favored nation scheme, will gain immunity from the 100% tariffs imposed by his administration. In exchange, Regeneron will cut the price of its cholesterol-lowering therapy, Prelucent, by 58%, $537 down to $225, provided patients buy it through the administration's direct-to-consumer, TrumpRx.gov. Interesting. So they're doing a little tit for tat there. And when are we going to start getting all these what do you call it? The external revenue services coming in. Might be later than sooner.
You've got to deal with the tariffs first, paying back the tariffs. Remember that one.
Yeah.
You know, the Supreme Court ruled, and it's hundreds of billions that are going to have to be paid back, and it's coming out of your pocket. So, you know, that's really unfortunate for the American people.
Absolutely. But we did have, I don't know if you saw this last week, Lisa, and I don't, maybe we had it this last week, but Bessent's out there telling people to change your withholding on your taxes so you can get more money now. And I'm like, well, wait, everybody else knows that if you do that, then you get less of a return or you have to pay more money in later. Why would a federal, the Treasury head tell people to, mess with your withholding? Seems interesting. And then we put that together with all the stuff we see and hear about the IRS over the years. So in the beginning, we touched on a couple of different things from Epstein files, right? So have we seen all the Epstein files? Are all the Epstein files released? Are they still going to be released?
No.
And how do we know
Because we have
that?
investigations still going on.
But here's another
And then New Mexico's Zorro Ranch. That's
got to go out and check for some dead bodies out in there. But there might be a lawsuit, guys, which might be something that is, tailored to be bad against Trump and his administration. But I look at it like a good thing. And here we go. The Daily Beast, the top Trump goon, I'm quoting the article here, guys, top Trump goon sued for failing to release the Epstein files. Well, who's that? Acting Attorney General is accused of not complying with the law to release all the files. Acting Attorney General Blanche is being sued for failing to release the full Jeffrey Epstein files as required by law. Lawsuit was filed in federal court in Washington, D.C. by lawyer and political commentator Katie Phang, Phang, who slammed Blanche and demanded that the Justice Department release all documents along with an explanation for any redactions. She's also calling for the courts to appoint an expert to ensure that Blanche complies with the law. Quote, this case is about defendant Todd Blanche's brazen, shocking, and ongoing violation of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, the 15-page lawsuit reveals. It argues that the Justice Department's failure to follow the law and release the files harmed Phang as a journalist who has extensively covered the convicted sex offender. Quote, Phang's inability to report with substance on all of the documents she should be able to access has hurt her ability to do her job and made it harder to fulfill her mission as a journalist and legal analyst, the lawsuit said. So I'm going to say this part of it is complete bullshit. Pardon my French, guys, but that's like me saying...
unless they're using this the First Amendment there.
Well, at the same point, she's basically saying... Well, what is it harming? Is it harming her reputation? Is people going to think that she's a murderer or a rapist? No, she can't do a really good report. She can only do a pretty good report. She can't do a fulsome, excellent report. And I don't know that that's enough to basically say, like, yeah, we're going to rule for you. But maybe they're going to be ruling on the merits of the law that was passed to actually release the documents in their full capacity.
It highlights that, and also. I don't think Pam Bondi is going to get away with, stepping out from her job. She's still going to have to testify as well. But
that's
the law did say release all of the files. And she did put one thing in there, there's something about justifying the redactions, because there have been some redactions where it's like, well, why was that? The Alexander brothers, those three brothers who, it's like, why was their last name redacted? I thought only the victims' names would be redacted, not the perpetrators. And then Todd Blanche, if I remember rightly, when he first got into his job as acting Attorney General, one of his first interviews was saying that, nobody was an asset. Yeah, I do remember that blatantly. It's something like Epstein wasn't an asset. Okay. Yeah.
And Mac, let me give you guys another piece of information. And again, I'm being told that, this guy is Peter Tickton. I'm not playing this. I'm just going to explain what's on here really quickly. President Trump's longtime buddy, all the way back from military academy. And back then, I have no reason to doubt Pam Bondi's allegiance. I doubt that she's forceful enough to overcome Todd Blanche. Alex Jones, that's what I'm told. Bondi's not bad. Typically, she just cares about her hair and is, at the salon. But so this isn't the particular video that I wanted, but essentially there's another one out there where Peter Tickton was saying the reason we're having all these delays here, he named Todd Blanche as the person that is causing the delays. Now, somebody also told me that while Peter Tickton, yes, is a longtime friend with President Trump, there might be something with him as well. And I don't know. I'm not going to bag on this guy.
No.
I've never heard a word bad about the guy, so I'm not going to say anything on live that I can't, verify for myself. Lisa?
Well, wasn't Todd Blanche the one who went to interview
Miss Ghislaine?
Ghislaine.
Oh, sorry, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah. For hours and never got any information. And then, when you look at the and then when she supposedly testified and pleaded the fifth, it wasn't even Ghislaine Maxwell. So, maybe there's something going on there,
Maybe. Remember, she wanted to get, moved, which she did, right? I'm pretty sure she's in like a low security prison now in like Texas or something like that. I think she has a dog or a cat or something like that.
Yeah.
But again, we definitely want all of the, I think everybody on all sides now. And unfortunately, the jerk-offs on the other side only want the full Epstein report because they think that it's going to connect to Trump and it's going to take down Trump. But unfortunately, that's the case. But, I want them all released because I want everybody that did anything bad to go bye-byes. Every single last one of them. And it's like, oh, well, we can't really prove. But can't you? You really can't. But, in the court of public opinion, they can certainly be judged. And I'm again, not advocating violence, but make sure if you're in public and you see some of these people, you let them know, hey, you were on Epstein's list, right? Oh, you can't prove I didn't. Yeah, but you were on the plane. How many times? Yeah. And plenty of pictures with you. So yeah, you're a scumbag, right? I think it's incumbent upon us as a society to get more outraged about these things that seem like every day we see more and more of it, but we're just like, oh yeah, another guy, pedophile, yeah, oh yeah, another guy got arrested for doing this with kids. It's like, meh. You know what I mean? That needs to be much more of a big deal, in my opinion.
Yeah. But, there's a lot of people out there. Unfortunately, they're also part of the administration. Every day, it's almost like every week there's another person and another person and another person. Is it Zamparelli or whatever his name is? I don't know what job he does in that. He's part of the administration. He used to own a model agency, and he's another one that's in there.
It's high time that but here's the thing, right? It's like everybody wants things done really quickly. I've told you guys numerous times, in April or May of like 2018, I'm sitting there going, where the hell are the arrests? Like, I can't believe that they haven't gotten these people out of here yet. And it's like, wow. Yeah, I thought I had a pretty good grasp on things, but no, I had very little clue on how deep this stuff goes. And then how deep into, like Lisa said, our government, the people that are in the holdovers, even the people in Trump's administration, which I believe some of those people were enemies closer type of people, like like the Lutnicks of the world, right? Like I truly believe that guy will get his day. And remember, he's supposed to testify with about Epstein, and again, I don't think he has, but when will that come out? So a lot of these things we'll have to see how they suss out, but I do feel blessed
Peter
to
Thiel.
be, yeah, Peter Thiel, Mr. Sweaty demonic guy, like hello, not digging him at all either. Him, Jared, Lutnick, nope, a lot of them. And I've said it, I've said it numerous times in the past too. Like I feel like these people need to be exposed for sure. All right, so what else do we got here on the docket? Anything else I missed on your guys' side for stuff that you guys dropped?
Well, while we're having the show, Trump posted about rigged elections, and he's asking for the Save America Act. So
yes, which,
I think there's a lot hinging on this as well. Once he can. I think I said it before. You can make a national emergency around it, but I think he wants to make it into law. But once you do that, we secure our country pretty well. For the future. With that process, I don't think there's any other bigger flaw right now, and we can then move along here. I know there's been a lot of Donald Trump posting about Obama, so
a lot,
yeah, a lot.
And and again, to quote one of my buddy Matrix Codebreakers, Decode a couple weeks ago when they were looking through, I just find this stuff amazing that nobody else seemed to notice this, but he noticed it within a decode, which was one of the friggin' fighter pilots' names was Dude 44, bro. Like, think about that. You just passed, you went to where do they go in there? Miramar, right? In Top Gun in the movie. You just went to Miramar. You got you're a jet fighter pilot. All right, Mac. Now it's time to assign you a name. What are you gonna call yourself? Dude 44? Like, I'm sorry, no fighter pilot has the name Dude 44. I'm gonna go on record saying I would bet my grapes that no fighter pilot named himself Dude 44. And so these are just little clues that we see throughout the time, and then it just happens to be a time in which Trump is posting left and right about Obama, and all roads lead to Obama. So I do find it interesting. Really quickly, President Trump here. America's elections are rigged, stolen, and a laughingstock all over the world. And so, guys, capital letters on certain ones of these that should not be, like America, yes. Elections, no. Rigged, no. Stolen, no. Laughingstock, no. Lisa?
I'm just going to say that's really, in general, the way that the voting system is in the UK. Except for the citizenship, you don't have to show proof of citizenship, but you do have to show your ID or some form of ID, which would basically tell whether you're a citizen or not. Or when you register to vote, they check on your citizenship.
So
that's
you guys
kind of
need
the same as it is in the.
You need proof of citizenship like us.
Well, it's not that it's not done then. As you go to vote, it's done prior to that when you register to vote. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So they check whether you're eligible to go on the voting register, and if you go on the voting register, then you'll be sent like a ballot form that you take down to the voting place and take your ID and then go and vote. So I'm saying it's pretty similar, but you're not showing the proof of citizenship as you arrive to vote. It's already done.
Interesting. I mean, and the idea here is just, it's ridiculous, right? The whole mail-in ballot we've seen, even in Virginia recently, they did it. And historically, we've always gotten our results the night of the election, up until we started using these stupid machines, and then it became weeks and weeks. And, oh, wait, how many is he down? Okay, yeah, we need to get those over there as well. So yeah, it's crazy. All voters must show voter ID identification. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. 3, no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. Right? And even for travel, like you don't know you're traveling, you can't just send something in the envelope?
Yeah.
Like ahead of time? I don't know. It's just weird. Well, I guess that's a mail-in.
I've got a question for you. Is this Save America Act, is this all that's in it? Or is it a wider bill?
Well, that's the thing. They're trying to. He was saying basically they need to pass the act, and then they keep trying to throw stuff in it that the other side says that they're not going to pass because there's other stuff in it. But we know what they really want to do. But so I think this thing has other crap in it, but I'm pretty sure that that's a truthful statement right there. That
Has
they're
it got
trying to.
the Pfizer 702 in it, where President Trump's saying, "I'll give up my kind of privacy"?
Sure. Let me see.
They had hinted at it as putting them all
Because-
together into one bill.
And that's
I'm just reading this summary here, but I'm not sure. I think there's some more components, but there could be extra stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like this, Lisa. It says SAFE Act equals Safe Security and Freedom Enhancement Act. The bill is specifically about reforming and reauthorizing FISA Section 702. So that's the SAFE Act, not the Save America.
Okay.
Yeah, Save America. Save America Act equals Save Act, Safeguard America Voter, and the proof of citizenship. It's not the FISA itself, a FISA bill. It said the 2026 lawmakers wanted the Save America Act attached to the FISA 702 reauthorization bill as a condition for voting on it. So the bills became politically tied together, even though they cover different subjects. So yeah, it's the, what do you call it? The Potomac two-step there. They're playing their little games as usual. And again, once elections are on the up and up, I think we actually win California. And actually, I got a little clip for California because old Gavin Newsom, oh boy, it's just the bad news keeps pouring in. And we got our favorite, where let it go? What did I do with it? Hold on. I may have dropped it in the wrong room in Discord. What the hell? Hold on one second, guys and gals. Oh, wait, I got it up on I already got it up on the computer, Mike. Come on. Here we go. Do it. See, we gotta fire that producer, guys. We gotta definitely put an ad out and see if we can get a different producer in here, because this one's just not cutting the mustard. All right, Spencer Pratt. I think he's running for mayor, governor, whatever of California there, but he's talking about some stuff very interesting.
Just met with a great team of criminal investigators here at the IRS. If you asked Fire Aid for any money, emailed them, please send me all your correspondence. If you bought tickets, merchandise, or donated to Fire Aid and you have the receipt, please email that evidence to info@prattdaddy.com.
Pratt Daddy.
I repeat, if you were a fire victim in Altadena, Pacific Palisades, Pasadena, Malibu, any fire victims, and you reached out to Fire Aid, please send me those correspondence and then the correspondence of whoever Fire Aid told you to email. Thank you so much. Look forward to closing this case. Just met with a great...
So he's basically saying there's a lot of this Fire Aid that people donated to. Gavin Newsom's fire relief racket just got IRS confirmation. $800 million in, quote, fire aid for Pacific Palisades and LA wildfire victims never reached one single person. It flowed straight into NGOs, including one Newsom and his wife personally created. How coincidental. That group just quietly scrubbed itself from the website as the story broke. Pure California grift. Oh.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that one, Lisa? I mean, it's just seems like it's par for the course recently.
I do remember something about that where donated funds were funneled to his governor's office, and I was wondering what was going on about that. But I think Spencer Pratt's doing a good job of highlighting this. He's up against Karen Bass, who's another one.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. Bianchi
Speaking
and
of
Hilton,
which,
the other ones.
didn't President Trump just post one about Karen Bass? Didn't you see that?
See anything?
I put it in the bottom of the chat.
Is it recent or?
Yeah. April 23rd.
Oh, okay, no. Well, recent April 23rd is not recent for Trump's post. It would be going there forever. Okay, wait, go down, down, down. Okay, so he met with her, huh? I'm just gonna read this as it's not great looking, but actually, you know what? I can do this for the folks. Go. It was my great honor to meet with the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, 5th District Supervisor Catherine Barger, Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, and the Supervisor Chief of Staff, to discuss the progress made on the horrific fires that ravaged Los Angeles and the surrounding areas. Since my strong action and statements with respect to insurance companies and the way they were treating the homeowners, that aspect of this disaster has proceeded well. Big progress has been made, and those companies are, quote, stepping up to the plate as they should. The banks, however, have a long way to go and will be looking into their actions effective immediately. Wells Fargo, in particular, has been very difficult to deal with. The banks must treat these people who so horribly lost their homes in the tragic fire very fairly and well. I will be working with the mayor, supervisor, and anyone else to help this tragic situation go smoothly. In particular, I want to thank our great EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin for the great speed or incredible speed in which he has already accomplished his very complex environmental work. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Why the hell would he have her there? That's what I'm
busted investigation.
Yeah, I think I remember. Yeah, when the Palisades happened, just after that, there was something about the people getting permits to clear the area where houses have been kind of burnt down, and also for them to rebuild. And I remember President Trump stepped in to hopefully speed up the process, but Karen Bass was kind of part of the delay. So people didn't have permission to clear, let's say, the rubble and also rebuild their houses, you know. And then meanwhile, Gavin Newsom was selling out to somebody like the Chinese so that they could build on the land where the houses were. But anyway, just recently, Sergey Brin, I think it is, and his wife, there was some kind of dinner or event, and they got up and they just said how bad California is, and they're leaving. And Gavin Newsom was sat right there. that just happened.
Wow, and he's one of them.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
he's leaving.
Pop this one up here. That's a new one to me. I mean, this is what I mean, Lisa, you know, and everybody listening, like when I'm telling you there's so much news and stuff coming out, it's inevitable you're going to miss something, and it is just crazy. It says, in treehouse nestled in redwoods north of San Francisco, California Governor Gavin Newsom stood cold and hungry as Sergey Brin, the world's 4th richest man, and his wellness influencer girlfriend told him they were leaving the state. Where was it? Wellness influencer girlfriend? This bird. Interesting, though. I mean, and that's huge, right? Like
his handler, probably.
Yeah, right. He's the you know, he's the 4th richest man in the world, did they just say, or whatever? And
I'm with Google.
Right? Yeah, he can't afford it. And again, you know, while this guy probably is really rich, and what is it? Is that a friggin' thing on his neck there? That looks like a. Oh God! Of course, this is gonna get in the way, won't you? Come on. Oh God!
I'll tell you what. Look it up on your AI, and you'll get access to the story.
All right.
Use Sergey Brin. Use the title. Type it into AI. That's one thing that it is good for. So it gets you around all of this because it just gives you the story.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's
But.
Oh, go ahead, Lisa.
I've forgotten what I was going to say then. Oh.
Well, we know it's Sergey Brin is what, YouTube?
No, Google.
Google. That's Google. So.
And isn't Google based over there as well? Well, it's huge. It's huge that he's leaving.
Oh wow.
Huge. Oh, it's the thing, it's this part of it is that they're bringing in a new tax where I think it's like yearly that you have to pay something like 5% of all of your assets in tax each year. Now that's got to hurt.
Right.
That is a lot of money, and that has got to hurt. Something like that is being brought in California. You know,
Oh, that's bananas.
5% of all of your assets. So no wonder that more people will be leaving. You know,
That's like
and then
setting
to,
up
and then
for a
to,
takeover, you know?
yeah, and then to think, you know, we just talked about that story where FireAid 800 million went into people's pockets, you know, and all of the corruption in California anyway. And California as a state, it's broke.
Which is ridiculous.
They're completely broke. Yeah, and it's like they've got the economy equivalent to a very large country. You know, the amount of money that's being turned over. What is that?
I was trying to see if it was one of those. It looked like a G from far. I didn't know if it was the. I don't think that's stupid. But look at the pin. United States and Israel. And, you know, but any of the folks that are having the doubts about the stuff, you know, with Trump and Iran, I would just simply say, take a quick look around, you know, in the media, per se. Let me do my check. CNN still talking crap about Trump? Check. MSNBC still talking crap about Trump? Check. All the, you know, not even Fox a little bit here and there, but all the non-Fox, you know, websites and news reporters all still talking crap about Trump? Check. All right, so I know he's on our side still. You know, unless they're all playing that big long game, which I don't buy for an iota. So here's an interesting one, guys, and probably gonna have to wrap it up shortly thereafter. And guys, just a programming note. Oh geez, next week is gonna be. All right, so next week with pretty much all my shows, guys, I'm gonna have to cut it at 2 hours. But it's just going to be for the next couple of weeks while we're doing this stupid move and rehab of this place. So as I've mentioned to a few folks, maybe Mac and Lisa, if you didn't hear the whole thing, we're basically moving us out across the street, remodeling the whole place, and then moving us back in. And so we're going to be doing a lot of cleaning and moving and whatnot. So actually my son and his friend were being a little loud earlier, but I'm glad they were because they got rid of 5 bags of trash throughout the house of you know, stuff that we haven't done spring cleaning in a while. So, you know, a lot of old toys and whatnot and stuff like that. So that's going to be the next couple of weeks. But beyond that, I don't have to worry about anybody coming home late and needing the house quiet. And we can do a show till 2 in the morning if you like, Mac. Be good to rock and roll after that. But thought this was interesting. You guys know the Schumann cavity resonance, right? The scientists using satellite and seismic data have discovered the Earth produces a puzzling pulse every 26 seconds, often described as its heartbeat. Earth may itself be a living being. And didn't they say that heartbeat or whatever? And I don't know if they play any sound here. Let's see. I mean, they're making it look like a heartbeat to the thing, but, you know, I've long known about, and we've seen, I could probably pull it up right here, the Schumann resonance that people always seem to comment about. But Mac or Lisa, anything that you guys got on the heartbeat of our planet?
Well, it's probably based on Mac, some kind of electromagnetic whatever, and apparently I don't know, about a week ago or maybe more, a lot of people like their dogs or cats, you know, were kind of panting a lot. Insects were like on their back spinning and then ended up dead the next day. You know, but there's a few people that kind of noted that, you know, and it could have been. I don't know what it was to do with, but I just noticed a few people, more than a few people online talking about similar things. You know, like they woke up in the middle of the night, they needed water or whatever, and then their pets were behaving strangely, and insects were behaving strangely, and the insects were like dead the next day. I don't know what that's all about. But Mike, there's honestly, I've got to ask, can you not play the Space God, please? I need a laugh.
What is
the
it?
alien, the alien skit.
I'll have to. Yeah, I'll get it out.
Space Shot. We mentioned aliens earlier on. This thing, I'm telling you, every time I watch it, I cry laughing. And you might have a little bit of trouble understanding, but it has what he's saying. It has the subtitles on the screen, but it's the funniest thing I've seen in a long while. Funniest thing, and as soon as we're talk about aliens and different things.
Yeah,
Sorry to digress, but you got to see this thing.
Yeah, I think he stepped away for a second. He's back.
I did the men's real quick.
Did you hear what I said?
No, I didn't.
No, he didn't. I posted a couple videos, and at least I thought
the alien thing, mate. Though that one,
yeah, I did.
Specific one.
Alien.
Well, can you point?
Play the top one. Play the top one though first.
Hold on.
I thought that. So it's a comedy thing, but it's hilarious.
No, not that one, Mike. Not that one.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. Why aliens abduct people? Yeah, go on.
Well,
I
they're all
think it
shorts
is that
anyway,
one.
so it don't matter. We'll hit them up here. Here we go. Oh wait, what the heck? Did I just mute it when I tried to unmute it? Mute site.
Mike, it's got to be the one where he talks about.
Well, there's a couple there, Lisa. So, like I said, they're shorts anyway, so it can't be more than a minute each.
Like, okay, I'm guilty of that too. Like the abductions and shit. That's our fault, bro. We were playing this shit. You know how you get a cat and put it in a little thing and shake it up and scare the cat?
Yeah.
That's what we were doing,
What y'all be doing with them, like, when y'all do get some motherfuckers up there? What y'all be doing to them?
Just scare the fuck out, get them high, then scare the fuck out, wig about it. Then drop them off, though, ain't nobody gonna believe, but just watch them on Earth go crazy. Whole life fucked up. Nigga trying to fight everybody, don't nobody believe that. Like, we just laughing at that, watch them the whole time. Then we'll fuck with them, slide by a house, you know what I mean? No, ain't nobody gonna believe, so, you know what I mean? We wrong for that, you know what I mean? We been wrong for that.
Y'all wrong for that?
Yeah, we wrong.
We wrong for it. And you wonder if that stuff's really happening too. Like, do they do that and mess with people too? Like, let's get them high on some stuff here.
Man.
You have to be able to, like sometimes I had to watch it a few times to understand exactly what he's saying. And by the way, he sounds like he's got a Caribbean accent as well. It's not just American. There's a way that he pronounces things, and it sounds a little bit Caribbean. But you have to be able to read what he's actually saying. It is funny as anything.
A little Caribbean-esque. A little Caribbean-esque. All right, yeah. Let's listen to part 2 here. Here we go. Oh wait.
Abducted anybody, man? Hey.
Oh, this one. And see, just weird. It's decided it wanted to start on the other camera here. Here we go. Ding, ding. I'm telling you, this computer is like possessed. It does stuff by itself.
Abducted anybody, man? Hey, boy, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, so this the thing. What y'all call abduction? Yeah. Man, bro, that shit just like, we wise. Young aliens, we ain't know no better. Like, come on, bro. You ever picked up a wild animal and just rode around in the car with it and you scared as hell? Yeah. So we'll pick up a nigga or two and put him in the spaceship and ride around with him and scale. But man, it's funny though, man. We ain't doing that to them folks. Just fucking with them. Yeah, but then when them folks start talking about probe, like, man, come on, guys. They want to be probed or they want to probe? Man, ain't nobody probing nobody, man. That's some Earth shit, man. For some reason, Earth got a fascination with putting stuff in their rear end. In space, that's a no-no. That's a universal violation, man. Universal, man. Come on, man.
Rear ending, that's an Earth thing. That's a universal violation. Oh my gosh. I mean, that would be funny too. Like having the power to like, because we're essentially, if that was legit, we're like ants to a higher intelligence. And so it would be like, them playing with ants, playing with us. But that is funny. Spay good. That's a good idea though for an interview. That was pretty funny to even do that. Like, yeah, we'll dress you up like an alien today, and we'll interview you like you're a real alien.
Multiple stuff out there. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I turn my camera on. That's what you guys are gonna see. You can see Alien Mike talking at you guys. Alien Mike over here. But guys, anything else that we should? I mean, again, as soon as we end the show, we always go, "Oh, should have grabbed that," or "Oh, this," and what is it, like 10 stories at the end of every show? Because it's just too much.
There's the Joe DiGenova. If I'm pronouncing that right.
That's big too, and I looked it up early the other day too. I had one of them in here. Let me pull this up, but I have it in my links here. And interestingly, it's within like a couple of days of a delta in the drops in which they were talking about Joe DiGenova being hired. Because remember in the drops, he was talking about Obama and who was the hero back then. It was Admiral Mike Rogers being the hero. So I did a little checking, and that was around April 24th or 18th, and then the 20th, and then other reporting was reporting on the 24th. But if I go into here, put Joe D. Guys, in 1 second.
I've got the clip from the Q post.
When's that?
I'll put it at the bottom of the chat. There's a video with it. It talks about Mike Rogers.
This one right here. So yeah, 11-minute
That,
mark. Yep.
Does that one work? I don't think it works. I found a link that it worked. That they found the clip from it, from the actual post, and it's at the bottom of the chat. You have to click on it.
All right, we'll do that in absolutely 1 second. But note this, guys: 33 18, 33 19, 33 21. And of course, you'd have to assume 3320 is in there, but it probably doesn't mention Joe D. But Joe D, April 24th, April 24th, April 24th. I think a couple other ones were September. Yeah, September, and then April 24th. So again, he was appointed in April, right around that date, and not exactly that date, but very damn close. And interesting that he's coming back into the fold now, guys, right? Like, very interesting. Get these things out of here. Go, ding, perfecto. Listen to a couple of them or just one?
Joe.
Pull this one up. This one, I believe, is the same clip from the drops that we were just looking at. Mac found another clipping of it, but this should be from the drops back then, 33, 18, and 19.
Joe, very quickly, if you've got a word you want to add.
There's a hero in this entire story, and it's not a lawyer. All the bad people in this story are lawyers. There's a hero. His name is Admiral Mike Rogers. He was the head of the National Security Agency. He discovered the illegal spying. He went personally to the FISA court and briefed the chief judge and worked with her for months to uncover the people who did it. The FISA court has already been told and has already told the judge.
Already been told and told the judge. And remember, you had what? Was it Rosemary Collier back then, I think, was running it? And then later on, once they got into, like, say, the stuff with the impeachment, it was Atkinson was the Intelligence Community Inspector General. But remember, Atkinson was the guy that was actually working with them to push forth that BS whistleblowing thing from Eric Charmella, Eric CIA Ramella. That was huge. And so remember, back in the drops told us, listen very carefully to statements made by Joe D. It's happening. Michael S. Rogers, right? And all these things here, guys, why would they mention this back then? Was it just, oh, hey, we're going to show a clip of Joe DiGenova talking about Mike Rogers? Or was that for now? So we could look at this back then and then now look at it again and go, oh, wait. Not only was he mentioning it back then, but he's also hired in April as well. So who knows? Interesting. Any thoughts on this one, Mac? And then we'll hear from Miss Lisa as well. But I'm loving this, and I love that he's in there because he's apparently, by all accounts, a little pit bull under law anyway.
Yeah, and what role is he taking now?
He's the prosecutor now in the grand conspiracy case against
That's right. Okay. He's also mentioned in Q Post 2330, and it's a transcript. Yeah. So this is very good sign in how they're going to attack everything, involving the FISA, spying on Trump during his campaign, Russia hoax. So he's going to be a big player, obviously, in this connecting of these dots.
Did I get the right one? 2320, you said?
2230.
2230. Okay.
230, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This one, let's pull it up for the folks. Let's see. For a laugh? Nope. Didn't think so. Panic in D.C., James Baker testifying. Joe DeGenova. As I've been saying for 2 years, there's been a brazen plot to illegally exonerate Hillary Clinton in the email case and then, if she had lost, to frame Donald Trump. And this is exactly what these texts are about. Whether or not Mr. Stroke and Lisa Page and others are indicted is certainly a question people can debate. But let me just say, I know there is a grand jury underway, testimony being taken about Strzok, Page, McCabe, and others involved in this case. And the reason we know that it is that James Baker, as a former general counsel of the FBI, as turned state's evidence, is fully cooperating with the inspector general and with the federal grand jury. I can assure you Mr. Comey has been very silent in recent weeks, and the reason is very simple. He knows he's going to be indicted. Panic in D.C., Baker confirmed. No IG involved. Inspector General Huber, Inspector General Horowitz, over to Storch. This is huge. And the grand jury's like, I don't remember grand juries back then. I remember they were doing investigations, and I know they mentioned it here, but I don't remember there being grand juries back then. But then again, you know, time is a-flying, and facts are in and out one ear and out the other. So this is interesting.
Well, don't they can be sealed. So.
Very, very true. And again, you know, we don't know what part of any of this has already been done or not, or what's going on, but it's all super
Didn't we
weird.
cover last week, like, was it Stroke, Page, and Carter or Baker are like cooperating witnesses?
Yeah.
So I would probably connect to this a little bit.
Yeah, there are definitely folks cooperating. And 14 posts for cooperating. I want to go for some of the early ones here. Cooperating, and then there's some that have the spy thing here, like this one listed out. Yeah, so in this drop that Mac's talking about in April, it's maybe I should have kept it like that. There we go. It highlights them. Bill Priestap. So remember, guys, back then, Bill Priestap, he was the head of counterintelligence, and he was Peter Strzok's boss. We were told that he was a cooperating witness. And then we were told that Peter Strzok, Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence, was a cooperating witness, power removed. And we were also told Lisa Page, attorney with the FBI's Office of the General Counsel, cooperating, power removed. Michael Corton, FBI Assistant Director for Public Affairs, fired, cooperating, under resigned title. Bruce Orr, Associate Deputy Attorney General, that's the number 3 in charge, demoted 2 times and cooperating. So let me see, any more on there? Corton, anybody else in here that they list? But yeah, there's, you know, at least a handful of people that they told us are cooperating. Bill Priestap, Corton, to be called. Who are they cooperating with? You believe in coincidences, the more you know. So yeah, we're just going to have to see how this stuff, you know, kind of susses out in court. But where is the one that I had here? So again, I don't know why these pages load up so damn slow, but I thought this was interesting because it mentions it here again. Subpoenas went out shortly after the Justice Department appointed conservative Trump ally Joe DeGenova to formally take over the criminal investigation into Brennan after the career prosecutor handling the case was removed. Where's the words that I'm looking for here? Here we go. The cooperating witnesses are scheduled to appear before the grand jury as soon as this week. Sources said many of them have been cooperating with the probe and were already scheduled to sit down for interviews with the FBI agents and prosecutors before the new grand jury subpoenas came out over the weekend. Although the witnesses are agreeing to meet voluntarily with the DOJ investigators, that doesn't necessarily mean their testimony will help advance the department's criminal case. And of course, Brennan's attorney denied any wrongdoing. But what do you think, guys? Do you think it's, you know, plausible that they're going to bring somebody to testify that does not help advance the department's case? Like, clearly they're bringing in people that are cooperating, that knew what was what, and they're going to be squealing on said individuals. So somebody's ass is going to get roasted. And I mean, John Brennan's handwritten note said it was Hillary. We even have Clapper out there saying none of all this stuff would have happened if President Obama hadn't tasked us to do this from the very beginning. Right? All leads road to Obama, guys. And then, you know, we can go here, and one of my favorite videos to search is FBI 2008 Obama, and we're going to see all of Lisa's, every bunch of copy of Lisa's video here pop up. Oh, look at 8 cue ball. Oh, look at 8 cue ball, and this is the one. And guys, so for those of you who may not, and I'm not going to play this whole thing, guys. I'm going to play just a little segment of this. For those of you people out there who may have problems with understanding how very big this situation is, you know, like, oh, I think, you know, Obama was a citizen, but then, you know, whatever. Just remember the very beginning of this, guys.
2008, something unbelievable happened for us in the FBI. We were getting lots of rumors about this high-level asset that worked for several intelligence agencies at the same time. He worked for the Saudi intelligence service. He worked for the CIA, and he was being developed as a political asset in Chicago, Illinois. He was not even a United States citizen, but it was said that he was a student visa and that he was a national from another country. In 2008, everyone in the intelligence structure found out who he was. It was...
So clearly he's talking about Barack Obama. So the culmination that these people were hearing about, right? They were hearing about an asset that was going to be a political asset who was working with other countries who was going to infiltrate our government and our country, right? So this guy's in the FBI, and say you get a bunch of other folks that hear about it, the CIA, the military, they hear about it. You don't think, like, where do you guys think the plan came up, right? Where did it come? It had to come from people, good people on the inside that saw what we're seeing and seeing there was too much of it, too much fraud, too much abuse, infiltration instead of invasion, which we've been told in the drops many times. So that what put off the plan, or, you know, skyrocketed it into existence, because they made their play to have their guy infiltrate us, and it worked like a charm. Totally fooled us all. I even thought Obama was the greatest thing since sliced bread for about, I don't know, 6 months. I was like, change? Oh my good, yeah, this guy's great. That's exactly what we need. We can change this country, yay! And then I was like, oh no. So this is huge, guys. It's absolutely an enormous task, And Lisa, really quickly, before we kind of, actually, let me get your guys' comments. Anything on this whole thing about Obama? Anything I just said, Miss Lisa, and then we'll go to Mac, and then I got a question for you guys on something else.
I just agree. It's huge. It's huge. But also, what I like about it is it kind of uncovers the whole mess of a network and their methodology of how they achieve things. You know, the infiltration and the sheer level of it. You know, and the chutzpah, is it what you say? In doing that, you know, like putting somebody in as president, you know, who is this asset? And then you've got the connections, like when they said he was a Saudi Arabian asset. So now you've got somebody else in charge of Saudi Arabia who's a friendly, yes? Do you think that he would bother about giving up what his government were doing at the time? You know, being a Gulf state? Probably not. You know what I mean?
Oh, I do. Likes it. I like it for sure. Mr. Mac, anything you want to say on this one? I got a question for you, Lisa, and the chat after this.
No, I mean, this is just important information. We all need to be refreshed every once in a while so we can connect more of the puzzle. I mean, yeah, I'll leave it there. Oh.
Okay, so this is going to be funny. So I put a post out the other day, you know what, and I'll show it really quickly. I can like this. Yeah. All right, right here. I put out an Entheos post the other day, and I just thought it was interesting because they mentioned they mentioned in it prepare, because remember, we already had a bunch of people kind of losing it and whatnot, having lots of questions about what's going on and stuff. And so they said, prepare ahead of time to have your level of discern, and the word CERN, CERN, is in capital in the middle. Have your level of discernment tested, perhaps like no other period prior in your life. When in doubt, hold steadfast to Emmanuel's manual. You'll be all right. All right, so I'm not saying that I believe this. I just remember this to be a little different. And I dropped it in the chat before, guys, so you probably will know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to play, and I'll probably get copyrighted on it, but we'll see. Who cares? I'm going to bring it to the particular part, and you guys let me know. Do you guys remember this to be like this or a different way? All right, let me make sure everybody can see. Here we go.
E.T. home phone. E.T. home phone.
Was that the way it was? Was it E.T. home
I think it's
phone?
edited. No, but I think this is edited.
It's not. It's not, dude. And so I'll give you one more little piece of information. So right after he says that, Drew Barrymore says, E.T. phone home. So I'm wondering if we're remembering it incorrectly because she says it the correct way or the way I remember it right after. And so, Lisa, let me play this for you, and then I'll get your comment after this one here.
E.T., can you say that? Can you say E.T.? E.T.
E.T. E.T. E.T. Be good.
Be good. I taught him that too. You should give him his dignity. The most ridiculous
All right,
thing
here we
I've
go.
ever.
Home phone.
It's a little low on this side, but he said it again, home phone. And so let's see. I think she says it right here.
E.T. phone. E.T. Can you?
So are we all misremembering it because Drew Barrymore said it the way I remember it? Lisa, what do you remember this at all?
I do remember it. That actor, the little boy, is Christian Bale. Yeah.
Was it?
Do you know who Christian Bale is? That Christian Bale, the actor? That's him.
No way.
He's English.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's
Is it not Christian Bale?
I love Christian Bale. No, that's Henry Thomas.
Is it? Oh.
But no, you're right. He does look just like him. And then he got older, and you'll recognize him when you see him older.
Yeah.
I'll show you in 1
But
second.
I think the ET phone home, that was kind of like the advert for the film, wasn't it? You know, like the posters and things like that.
That's what I thought.
I remember. ET phone home, but it's interesting that he says ET home phone. You know,
very weird.
like are aliens as are we?
Well, maybe it's
aliens
what he
in the past?
first said and then corrects it afterwards. I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, I get a copyright in this, but here's him as an adult.
Oh,
different. Not a he's a good actor too. Christian Bale, though, he's a really good actor. Like him, and I like who's the other English guy who was in Gangs of New York. He's probably one of the best actors in my opinion. Last of the Mohicans. Daniel Day-Lewis.
That's the one. That's
Bill the
one.
Butcher.
Yeah.
I mean, what a great role.
He's a good actor.
There Will Be Blood. That was a good one too. Okay. All right, guys. So we're spinning and stuff here. Let me thank some folks over here on Pilled, and then we can get out the door here. I got 6 bags of trash that my son and his friend did clean up, but they decided not to take to the dumpster. So that's gonna be fun to clean that one out. And I think this was a Rumble rant from last show. So just please don't send any of those guys towards the end of the show, just because I'll miss them and I'll read them on the next show. But I won't be able to catch them once the intro stopped playing. We were talking about Valhalla, and G-Fonts had dropped $1 holler and says, there's a city, Valhalla, in New Zealand off the coast of Australia, was one of the Five Eyes nations, but was removed at the start of President Trump's second administration. I'm wondering, like, they just removed the island, or they stopped naming it, or whatever. I don't know. And I thought there was somebody said something about being a something off the coast of like West Palm Beach as well. I don't know. Valhalla. See you in Valhalla, Charlie. But over on thepill.net, FVT dropped a can and says, a Fox reporter explained that the cabinet members have their own security details. We saw them running on chairs to get to the protectees. Trump and Vance have their own details. Vance's whisked him up quick. You can see Steve Miller's covering him and his wife in some pics. Thank you for that, FVT. Yeah, and I noticed like they literally grabbed JD by the scruff of the back of his suit, picked him right up and yanked him right out of there. And then as Trump was there, and I got it too. I can show you guys too. Like it was, for me, it was too long. You know, his security, security needed to be a little quicker, in my opinion.
Oh,
a lot quicker.
And by the way, yeah, there's a picture. Do you remember from Butler? And there was the female Secret Service who couldn't even get a gun either out of the holster or in the holster. All right. Well, she, I believe, was at the hotel as well. Possibly. Quite possibly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was. I'm pretty sure she was.
It's like, have we not learned anything?
It's like, hello, let's get some people that know what the hell they're doing over there. But finished this. Lizzie B dropped, geez, how many cookies in a row there, Lizzie? Little Lizzie B with 1 cookie, 2 cookies, 3 cookies, 4 cookies, 5 cookies. Did I mention I'm on a diet? Down 23 pounds. But thank you for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cookies in a row, Lizzie B. No message on those, but thank you. P-Quest with the cookie, no message on there, but thank you, P-Quest. And then Sean Joe, Space Squad member, with 1 cookie, and then 2 cookies and 3 cookies in a row. Thank you for those there, Sean Joe. And then Okie7 with the can. No message on any of those, but thank you. And then Sean Joe follows up with a cookie and then another cookie. Thank you for those, Sean Joe. And then One Thunder with the can. No message on there, but thank you, One Thunder. And then again, 2 cookies in a row from Space Squad member Sean Joe. Appreciate you, brother. And the last one is Truitt with the cookie. Says another great show, Space Shot. Another great show, exclamation point, at Space Shot. Who was doing the comedy alien skit? I would love to find that to share. Well, I'll give you a link right here in the chat. I'm guessing Spay God the Thug, maybe? Looks like maybe
it is great.
Oh yeah, he's got a bunch.
Honestly, whoever that is, you're just gonna have fun. And please drop me that link because I just cried laughing, and probably watched it about 5 or 6 times so I could get every word, and it was even funnier each time. It was great. Can somebody make a TV series, please?
Right?
Something to laugh at.
There's so many of them too. Looks like it, but that's a great idea. I mean, that's what people need to find a little niche. I mean, you guys ever see you ever seen a YouTube channel called The Annoying Orange? Like, people find the weirdest things to make channels and stuff about, and it's very creative. And he is annoying, but watch this. How many followers do you think a channel like Annoying Orange has, Lisa? Ready? Don't look. Blink.
Few million.
Ready? I'll just give you a little bit of it, just so you guys see what it is.
Hey, Apple. Apple. Hey. Hey, Apple. Hey. Apple. Hey, Apple. Hey, Apple. Apple.
Right?
Hey.
So it's this, and all he does is he puts apparently his teeth to the fruit and does a bunch of annoying crap. 13.7 million followers.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh my God.
There's I don't remember the name, but there is a channel on YouTube, and it's a guy who kind of, does I'll call it conspiracy facts, but he has this fish that talks in a fishbowl.
Oh,
like he gives some good
WF
information, So it just reminded me of that. What's it called back?
WF files, Y files.
Is it Y files? Yeah, WF. This guy right here. He's got the little thing. I forgot what the name of it is. He's got a name for the fish, hecklefish. But yeah,
Hecklefish.
Well, guys, you see what I was just showing here a second ago? This is what I mean when I say YouTube is dead. All right, 13 million subscribers, So I was told a long time ago, if you're doing pretty good on YouTube, that you get about a quarter of your following in views. So what's a quarter of 13 million? Like just under, right around 4 million, right? So you would think, how many views of each of these videos getting? You know, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, whatever. 39,000, 79,000, 90,000, 120,000. These are tiny numbers for a 13 million channel number, 13 million following channel. So again, I've showed the UFC guy many times ad nauseum by now, but it's dead. And so that's why I tell you guys over there, and I'll probably forget to put it, but I'll put the comment in. It's in the description box, guys. Whether you're following or watching over on Rumble or Pilled, please do us a favor and come follow over here, just in case one day you wake up and on Monday, oh, Hold the Line's not on here. Where did he go? Well, you know I'll be on Rumble and you know I'll be on Pilled. So please follow us over there, guys. Mr. Mac, no, sorry, ladies first. Miss Lisa, any parting words on the way out of here? I'm going to release the scratching right now. Bing.
Yeah, still too much going on.
Way too much.
You know, find myself chasing my tail. You know, it's like, wow, you know, work for a few hours and then it's like, what, has all that happened? You know, just too much going on. Too much going on.
I agree.
Gotta find a way of managing it better.
Need more hours in the day, that's all.
And Dana White's reaction to the so-called assassination attempt. Well, that was fun, he said.
oh wait, I got a good one for you too. I got a really
Dana White.
Yep.
Oh, the UFC guy.
Oh, by the way, David Wilcox apparently committed suicide. That was another interesting one.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm hearing on both sides that, you know, maybe it
strange guy.
Yeah, may have been taken out on one side, and on the other side I'm hearing, you know, he killed himself like they said. On the other side, no, he wouldn't have killed himself. So I don't know where to.
Well, there's an officer there that said that he saw him shoot himself, which is,
well, I mean,
you know,
that could be said too.
That's why, you know, I was also bringing up MK Ultra stuff because of this. He definitely didn't sound like he wanted to commit suicide prior. So I don't know. Go ahead, Lisa. You sound like you're trying to say
before.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, like, so you know, with MK Ultra, I've been doing a bit more digging into that, and like I said earlier, you know, they program people, and they can make them kill themselves, and they can do it in a phone call. Yeah. Because they can have ulcers that they just don't know that they've had. And potentially, you know, David Wilcox, you know, the things that he was involved in and where was he getting his information from as well? I don't know, you know. But there's a whole history of MK Ultra and, you know, the will to control somebody's psyche. And the gentleman that I talked about before, where he won a court case regarding the fact that he was MK Ultra'd and he was set up, this is way before Epstein, he was set up as a honey trap as a child. You know, and then he went on to be in the military. Then you know, they wanted him to take on some ambassadorial role. So I do wonder, you know, how deep that particular rabbit hole goes. You know, how many people have they MK Ultra'd, you know, that they suddenly switch on and, you know, they can communicate with these people or those alters, as they call them. So I wonder, you know, if he did do it himself, then the fact is, was he controlled?
Absolutely. And
you know, go on,
I was trying to think of the movie, and I think the AI got it right. Wasn't it Manchurian Candidate that they were kind of going over that in?
Yes, yes.
And it's just like Lisa said, like they'll program somebody, and then like say Lisa's the person programming it, and she'll say like asparagus, all right, and then you know they'll train this person, and then that person goes and lives their life, and they don't even have a damn slightest clue that they've had anything done to them. Right, and then all of a sudden, that person gets a phone call one day, hello, and Lisa says, asparagus. And then the person just, boom, puts the phone down and is like, all right, now I know I got to go kill. That's it. And that's all that's in their head is to go kill, whatever person that was, basically set up. So these things are real. And we were told back then to watch the psychologists and psychiatrists and stuff like that. So very interesting. I didn't want to cut off your final thought there, Lisa. Sorry if you want to continue.
No. That's fine. That's fine. I looked into it and around it. They said it was on Boulder County, wasn't it? And they said Ridge Road, which I think is Ridge Road could be Trail Ridge Road, which is I think it is the highest road in America.
Literally and figuratively. From what I hear about Colorado now. I hear once you get off the airplane, that's all you can smell is weed. Owie wowie, because they smoke so much over there now. At least a few people told me, it's pretty. The town of Boulder itself is pretty rank. I haven't been there.
I've been there.
Probably not in the last few years, though. I spent a lot of time
in that part. Not in the last few years. No.
That's when it's kind of ramped up when they made it more legal. Oh, and by the way, President Trump, Schedule 3 for marijuana back off of Schedule 1, which was, by the way, in the same category as heroin before, which was, non-medicinal, blah, 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 blah. So a lot of really good things there. Mr. Mac, parting words, way out the door, goodbyes type of talk?
Oh, thanks to everyone that tunes in. Thanks to the mods again. And thanks to you, Space Shot and Lisa. But I know one thing we didn't get to cover, Sam Altman and Elon Musk are going to trial. Yes. I think they're battling it out over AI. I'm not sure exactly everything about that at all. Lisa, Space Shot, you think about that?
Yeah. So basically, OpenAI was set up as a not-for-profit, and Elon Musk put in some funds, and then since then, Elon Musk left, and OpenAI, ChatGPT, is now for-profit. So they're battling it out over that. Something like that. Yeah, the original mission isn't what it is now. And obviously, Altman is making money now from it.
Wow. Yeah, it says that the two, so it was talking about Musk and Altman for betraying. Elon Musk is suing Altman for betraying the original mission of OpenAI being nonprofit after providing 60% of the seed funding to begin the company. So Elon Musk gave 60% of the money for a, quote, nonprofit. Quote, the two were founding co-chairs of OpenAI years ago. Musk says he gave OpenAI $38 million during its early years, or what he says was 60% of the nonprofit seed funding. Now Musk, who also runs the AI startup called XAI, claims Altman and others took his money and betrayed OpenAI's original nonprofit status. In October, OpenAI finished restructuring, with the for-profit organization reporting into a nonprofit foundation. But Altman's side says Musk agreed with them years ago about the need to convert OpenAI into a for-profit company. In the parentheses, very likely a lie. Scam Altman went from nonprofit to maximum profit. Opening arguments are expected to begin tomorrow, and the article was today. So big day tomorrow, guys. Lawsuit with Elon and Sam Altman. The king is going to address the joint session of Congress. Gonna be interesting. Mac, did you have any more parting words on the way out?
Oh, just don't forget to hit the like button, and can't wait till next week. A lot of things going on. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. This will be interesting, Mac. No, this will be interesting for me. I've been keeping an eye on this for quite some time, waiting for it to come up. I wasn't aware that it was coming up, but it'll be very, very interesting,
Can't wait to see.
Very, very interesting.
I wish they would post it online or something live. Interesting to hear it.
Yeah.
Sure, there'll be somebody there. Like, we had the Trump stuff going on, and you had certain people in the courtroom that were like running out and stuff. I'm sure there'll be some of that tomorrow. So I'll be definitely keeping my ear to the ground. I do have a scheduled, guys, to be on at 6 tomorrow with Armando, Mike, Ghost, and we have another I was going to say victim. We have another guest joining us tomorrow as well, which will be a new addition to the crew. So 6 p.m. tomorrow. Come check us out. Mac and Lisa, great show as usual. Again, always thank you to the mods out there. I do appreciate your help greatly, helping myself and many others out there. I have released said scratch-ins, and those are out there, and I've done all my thank yous. And my last one is to thank all of you wonderful world patriots for tuning in out there. We do appreciate you guys. And until that next one, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Where would we go? Right there. Peace.
Hello, guys. Something special is happening in here. That's right. It's brackets and jackets. Bringing it back for brackets and jackets. Special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks. Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see, this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh, boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jacket's Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. All right, think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. Also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton. And Epstein is Haiti. And Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon was going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Brian Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. And red pills in the best kind of way. This is brackets and jackets for the denizens